hard to know when YouTube is going to start after I press start stream. It says I'm live. Let's give it a test. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and say buy the dip in chat, and then I'll know it's real. Everyone's saying hello. Oh, that's good. Now let's hear the magic word. Say buy the dip. You guys are so slow. Still nobody. Hey, there we go. It only took 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes of lag there. Well, 45 seconds technically. Welcome everybody. I've been waiting for the dip to go live. Yay. We got a dip. Last time you guys seen me, I think it was about 5K, and I was on television saying, yeah, the bull run, it's the beginning of the end, meaning the bear market end, and I'm going to buy the next 30 to 40% dip. Well, we didn't get a 30% dip until about a week ago, right? We went from 3K, 31.55, up to about 13.850 with only a 25% dip. That's about a 5x in price with no dips. Fabulous. However, Richard Hart, what he says comes true. Even in the biggest bull runs, we will get 30 to 40% dips. Now we're at a 32% dip last I checked, which means, 8,500 is 40%. I think you should buy the dip. I'll tell you how I think you should do it, and then maybe you get really rich. That would be nice for everybody involved. So I'll tell you how to do it. 1, spot purchasers matter more than margin purchasers. Margin purchasers are weak. They can be shaken out of their positions. A spot purchaser can watch the price go to 0 and never be shaken out. He'll never have to sell. He'll never have to hurt the price. But someone that goes long, they can hurt the price. They go long, they temporarily pump it. It drops below their margin requirement. They're liquidated and forced to sell, and then that hurts the price. So if you want the price of things to go up, you always prefer people to buy on spot because they can't be shaken out, or not as easily. Price can go to 0 and they still don't have to sell. And in crypto, I've sat through $30 to $1 bubble, 1,200 to 250, 20K to 3K. There's another bunch of serious dips in there where, it looks like crypto's over. So this last bunch of dips, technically, we're due them, right? You're not supposed to go up 5x with only a 25% dip. That was a fluke. That was one guy that market sold 5,000 coins on one exchange. Some exchanges didn't even dip, like Finex didn't dip, Stamp did, because that's where he sold. It's abnormal, and it's weird, and it left retail behind, and it left me behind partially, or mostly, and now's our chance to buy the dip, right? So the thesis is this. We went from $200 to $20,000 with no dips that went over 40%. That's a lot, right? That's 100x, some large number of x. It's 100x. Well, what is it? 20 to 200 would be 10, 20 to 2,000, or 200 to 2,000 would be 10x, 200 to 20,000 would be 100x. So we went 100x with no dips over 40%. And we just pumped without retail being in. And for half of the pump, no premiums anywhere on anything. No premiums on futures, no premiums on swap, which is like, daily futures. No premiums anywhere. So I don't exactly know who bought all of these coins. I have 2 theories. One could be the banks bought your coins. Now you can pay higher. Okay, that sucks. And the other one that sucks more is the Tether guys are having problems getting bank accounts, so they just buy up Bitcoin because the banks can steal their dollars, but if they spend their dollars when they receive them and spend them to other exchanges' accounts and then just buy Bitcoin them with it, well, in effect, like the Tether Corporation is getting all the profit from this rise, whereas the people that bought the Tether, fake USD, aren't getting the benefit. That one's, I haven't heard anyone else present that one. I think it's interesting and kind of like a nice conspiracy theory. Absolutely no evidence to support it whatsoever. But someone bought, right? And they bought lots, and it wasn't retail, and the Google searches aren't up, and the adoption's not up, and the usage isn't up, but the price is up. So somebody bought a lot, right? Maybe, and you could say, oh, well, it was all the guys on the CME. No, they all got wrecked. They all got destroyed for most of this move up. Now, maybe they're long, maybe. They actually have reports that you can look at that show you by investor class. They break it down into 4 categories, who's long and who's short on the CME product, which is neat. And they can do that because there's only, 2,500, 3,000, maybe 3,500 people using it total. By people, I mean entities. Maybe there's, in a large company, a couple people trade an account, maybe. So, yeah, been waiting for the dip. Dip's finally here. I think we go to 8,500. Been talking about it for a long time, and I'll give you the reasoning on why I think that's a great place to buy. One, we've never violated the 40% drop rule in a bull run. Now that's assuming this is a bull run. So what's the evidence for this being a bull run? Well, we went 5x in price in 4 months. Been holding Bitcoin a long time. 5x is real nice. Used to be, not so many years ago, you could wait a few years for a 5x, right? Now, to get it in 4 months with no retail guys in, no searches, no news. I mean, I don't consider backed news. Maybe some people do. What other news is there? Lightning. There's only $10 million in the total Lightning network. Where's the news? That's a great thing. I think people, I think Bitcoin maximalists and people that own a lot of Bitcoin like I do, they don't like when I talk about the bad parts of Bitcoin because they only want to hear the bullish noise. Listen, be happy that the price pumps with bad news, because if we ever get good news, it'll pump harder, right? Be happy that the price can 5x on 4 months, in 4 months, with nobody using it as a currency. Because if people ever did use it as a currency, wow, maybe you could get 50x, right? So, I mean, you have to understand that telling the truth about this project and the parts that suck about it does not mean the price is going down, right? You can be truthful and understand that fixing those things makes the price go up even more, right? And we're coming up on the halvening, where instead of getting 12.5 coins every 10 minutes, you'll get 6.25. That's not bad, right? Yeah. So how do you buy the dip? Send money to exchanges, leave your limit orders in the book. Maybe you want to scale from 9K to 8K. Maybe it overshoots, maybe it violates. It would be the first, right? The last time we violated, it was the beginning of the bear market. So I prefer to not see it violate. I'd prefer it to be a brick wall at 8,500 so that we can maintain predictability so that everyone can get long and strong and stay long for the long, multi-year bull run. That'd be fabulous. What I don't like is when the price does stuff for the first time, because what data can you use to try and predict price? You don't own an exchange. You're not sitting there looking at wires people are sending. Even if you did own an exchange and you were looking at those wire transfers, you don't know who the Bitcoin guys are. They're going to dump into those bids. So even if you own an exchange and had a wealth of information about what kind of depositors and what sizes they were sending, and how much the lag is between when a wire hits and when they actually hit buy, I can think of some other interesting ways that I won't tell you about on how to use the user's client to try and predict when they're going to buy. I don't have any of those tools, right? I have the chart, I have the news, and I have understanding of fundamentals. The fundamentals don't matter, so you can forget those. They don't matter for price at all, which leaves you with news, which sometimes matters, right? Trump tweets that Bitcoin's garbage, hates it, terrorism, blah-de-blah, right? Orange Coin Bad says Orange Man. Well, what'd the price do? It went up like 5%, 6% as he was talking. Oh, okay, that's weird. I guess no one cares about what he tweets. But then, like a day or two later, time to dump. So was there just a lag? Like people couldn't find the sell buttons? Maybe the market reacted better to news when there was more traders and more retail involved with their, day trading screens there. maybe so many day traders got wrecked in the bear market that, I mean, imagine that you made a killing in the bear market shorting, and then it 5x's in 4 months. You're fucking wrecked. And I told people this. I told people at 4,000 when we broke out of that ascending triangle, flat top. You could basically trade those flat top breakouts pretty reliably in these last 4 or 5 months, as long as they built up enough pressure so that the triangle was wide enough. Then people got their bids and asks stacked on that, consolidation range. And then once it breaks out of the range, one side has to capitulate and give up, and you get these huge candles, right? $1,000, $1,500 candle. So I told everyone the time for shorting is over. Do not short. Be flat or long. I said that at about 4,200. And then giant candle, and then tons more giant candles with no dips. Hilarious. So now the dips here. So how do you buy it? Scale your bids, 8,500, 9,000. We should hit 8,500. I mean, the issue is we have a CME gap to close at 8,500, and we have closed all of them previously. Now that is not a spot product, that's a future product. Futures can go premium or they can go discount. So if you want to close that gap at 8,500, you can close it with a wick, or you could close it with the futures being at a discount. You could close it with the futures being at a premium. And then you've got to make a guess as to, okay, if we want to close that gap, where's the spot price actually going to be? Regardless of that gap fill narrative, we also have a 50% of the parabolic move, which lands us at 8,500. We also have the 40% max drop, 4,500. We also have, 8,500. We got the gap to fill at 8,500. I mean, we just did 9,500 today. This isn't asking for much, right? We have another congressional Senate hearing on Libra Facebook. Trump tweeted tomorrow. We have that. We had one today, dropped from 10.4 down to 9,500. So we dropped $1,000 on the Facebook hearings. We dropped from, so on the Trump tweet, we went from 10,293 up to about like 11, or 10,293 up to about 10,951. So we pumped, $700 on Trump, smack talking Bitcoin, through his minion Mnuchin, whose name I believe is accurately pronounced Mnuchin, who's in the Panama Papers and flies in private jets, and his work was an executive at Goldman Sachs, etc. I'm a single issue voter. If you don't like what I've invested the majority of my wealth in, I don't like you. You're not my friend. I invested in something good. I want the price to go up. If you want the price to go down because you want to talk shit about technology, if you want to talk shit about terrorism and the funding of bad people, well, then you can just ban the US dollar, because that's what all of that stuff's done in. Drug sales, dollars. Kidnappings, dollars. Everything's done in dollars, right? Oh, they're doing malware and they're doing it for Bitcoin. How much you want to bet it's actually getting turned into dollars, right? So you can't get angry at technology. You can't get angry at tools. You know how many criminals use pencils? Let's get rid of pencils. Like, if you want to make an impact in crime, you need to stop doing security theater and law enforcement theater and hire investigators. Investigators put people in jail. Prosecutors put people in jail. Jails house people, right? You could build out law enforcement infrastructure that did a very good job without fake meta law enforcement, where you take the limited number of investigators and prosecutors that you have, right? And you settle most cases anyway. A lot in the federal level, something like 90% of all cases are just settled and they don't see court. They don't see trial. That means something's wrong with your legal system. You're either not attacking enough people, right, to get to trial, or your penalties are so draconian and unfair that everyone settles because they have no choice, right? There's no reasonable system where you're doing a good job in law enforcement and you settle cases 90% of the time before trial. It doesn't make any damn sense. And that's also not how normal law enforcement works outside the federal level. So take all the money that you could save by not doing security theater with, pretending that you're making an impact. You're not making an impact, right? Oh, okay, we made it really hard for people to open up Bitcoin accounts. So you think the drug cartels gave a fuck ever in their whole life? They don't. They do not care at all. They buy property, right? They like, I'm not going to go into, like, if you want to read about how people hide money, it ain't Bitcoin. The coin that is totally 100% trackable forever, obviously, right? So I hate it when I hear all these red herrings about law enforcement and so on and so forth, trying to, like, stop Bitcoin from being a thing. Look, Bitcoin's been a thing for 10 years. Most people don't use it, right? Maybe one day they will. And whatever improvements we get in the world from that, it will be net positive massively, because much more people are non-criminals than criminals. If you start eliminating technologies because it'll stop crime, well, then let's just put a giant curfew. You're only allowed to be outside 1 hour a day. We'll just curfew everybody, and then think about the crime reduction. I mean, there'd be no crime, right? How much crime can you get done in an hour? I mean, you'd have to steal shit 20 minutes from your house, because, it takes 20 minutes to steal it, 20 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get back. That's your hour right there. It's stupid. Pseudo law enforcement through the reduction of civil liberties is retarded. And we're supposed to have, laws to protect our rights. If you can't transact with another human being without a middleman, that's slavery. There's no reason for someone else to have control over what you do with your money. There's not, right? What is it, pre-crime? Like, oh, well, you might do something bad, so we have to make sure that you can't. It's terrible. So, buy the dip, 8,500 target. If you long it on BitMEX, you can trade without any personal information. If you're on vacation in the USA and you don't want a USA IP ban, because they don't let you sign up from the USA, because you might be a US citizen, right, or US resident, and they don't allow those, then you get a VPN and sign up from wherever you do actually live, where they like you, right? You don't have to give them any actual personal information. They just want to make sure you're not a US resident, and they do that by filtering out US IPs. So if you were to long one Bitcoin, which is 8,500 USD of contracts at 8,500, your liquidation price would be under 5,000, and it would double your gains on the bounce. So if we went up to 17K from 8,500, you were long a single coin, you'd 4x your money, because the collateral that you had there, the one coin collateral, would double in price from 8,500 to 17,000, and your long position of 8,500 would also be worth 17,000. You can use the BitMEX calculator to do this math. So if you go up to the order window, top left corner, you click little calculator, there'll be 3 tabs. One of those tabs will be profit. Click that, and then put, 8,500 contracts, 8,500 entry price. You put it on isolated margin, 1x margin. That means you just put one contract of collateral. You took 8,500 of position out at 8,500, and then you can see that your profit on the trade on your long position would be half a Bitcoin. With the price of 17,000, that's 8,500, right? So you made an extra 8,500. Anyway, check the math. Should be 4x, maybe it's 3x. I'm slightly tired. I don't feel like checking it. You check it, right? You're responsible for all your own trades anyway. All I know is if you had a coin and it doubled in value, and you borrowed a coin and it doubled in value, well, you got the doubling value on your collateral, and you got the doubling of value on the coin that you borrowed, right? So your stack should be up 3 or 4x. Yeah, and don't go over 1x margin, right? Keep your liquidation price low at 5K. We have never violated the 40% dip during bull runs before. If you 4x in 5 months, that's a bull run, and but that's unprecedented. We don't really have much history doing that before, so maybe we could do some new unprecedented thing and dip deeper, which I wouldn't like. I wouldn't like that at all. I don't think it's the case. I got some rich friends that were just contacting me today, asking about getting in. So I think people see this as an opportunity for retail to get in, and these are multi-million-dollar guys. So I think we'll see more retail engagement. Not to mention we've got capitulation on the altcoins. Ethereum is down 50% in 20 days. You can trade that on my BitMEX link as well, which is richardhart.win. So if you want 10% off for 6 months, go to richardhart.win, use a VPN if you're on vacation in America, and, you know, buy the dip. What else? So I've told you why buying the dip's good. I've told you a bunch of technical reasons why it's valid, some fundamental ones, not that they matter at all. And we do have another Senate hearing talking about Facebook Libra, which is a trash fire. But here's the nuance to the information that I give you guys. When I tell you something is a trash fire, that doesn't mean that it's bad for the price. Okay? Libra is a horrible, censored piece of garbage from the worst company ever. However, that doesn't mean it's not good for Bitcoin price. So if we get a lot of people into the crypto ecosystem by hook or by crook or by whatever way possible, sure, come into crypto for whatever reason and get no gains with your Libra coin. But then if you like mad gains, we got this other coin that's easier to buy with Libra coin than with fiat. Hop on in, right? So I hate Libra coin, I hate Facebook. However, I see it as very good for the price. Period. If the one of the largest companies in the world with the most users in the world decides to onboard people into your industry, into your ecosystem, thank goodness. You guys notice my HEX jewelry, HEX bracelet, HEX earring, HEX necklace. Eventually I have to get these like identical to the actual logo, but for now these are quite pretty. Oh yeah, HEX. It's really close to being done. The contract's passed all the tests. We need to make one change to the price thing. Doesn't seem that hard. The UI guy's doing good stuff on the UI. And then it's off to audit. And then, you know, working backwards, 2 weeks warning for the snapshot, week or two to negotiate with the auditors, 3 weeks to actually audit. That's like 5 + 2, 7 weeks. So as soon as we pass internal tests, we're like 7 weeks out from launching, my guess. And we kind of already passed them. We just need to make one change. So it's like really, really close. See, HEX is kind of funny. I talk it about a lot, I pump it a lot, and then we run into some technical crap we have to fix, and I just stop talking about it because I want to come to you with like a real good, meaty update. Like, hey, play with the testnet, or hey, play with a, you know, wallet, things like that. Since I didn't have those yet, I haven't been doing it. I've never even mailed the mailing list. There's a bunch of thousands of people on there, you know, double-digit thousands, and I haven't done it, right? So we've got to update the website. You know, I've got to put the fact that you can trade Ethereum for HEX directly in the contract on there. I've got to put the auto staking. If you free stake coins, you're going to be auto staked minimum 50 weeks. You can choose to stake longer to get a bigger bonus, but we're not going to just hand you money to dump on us, right? So if you want free money, you're going to have to stay for the gains. And then once you see the gains, you can evaluate whether you want to buy some more, whether you want to get out. We're not just going to give you money to dump on everybody's heads, right? That's what Bcash did. Bcash gave a bunch of money to the Mt. Gox trustee. Mt. Gox trustee dumped 30,000 Bcash on everybody's heads. How is that good for the world? How is enriching the Mt. Gox trustee with coins he didn't deserve good for the world? Very stupid. So we're not doing that. We're doing something much smarter. The fundamentals have improved, right? So let's say someone wanted to buy marketing for this thing. Not saying they would, because, you know, then you'd be a security. Someone promises any work whatsoever. Can't promise you work for others. But let's say hypothetically, in some project, someone wanted to buy marketing, and he had to choose. You could either sell his HEX or you could sell some Ethereum. Well, selling the Ethereum isn't going to hurt the HEX price, right? So having something else that someone could sell to buy marketing, it seems good for the price of the project. Once again, promise you nothing. No promises. All right. I guess I could look at questions. So what do we got? We got buy the dip covered, 8,500 target. Maybe you could put some bids at you know, a little bit over that, in case it doesn't get that deep. But it probably will it should hit it, is my opinion. I hope it doesn't exceed it. Told you how to buy the dip. RichardHart.win. What else? got a trading channel, t.me/Strape Charts. Got the Richard Calls price channel, t.me/Richard's Calls. Got general crypto chat, about 6,000 people in there. t.me/Strape. We got the HEX chat, t.me/HEX Crypto. You guys should sign up for the Twitter. You should sign up for the email address on hex.win. Sign up to the Twitter, twitter.com/HEX Crypto. I think I can, so we could talk about Libra. We could talk about the garbage is government. We could talk about the joke that is gold, how stupid Peter Schiff is. I'm going to destroy him utterly if he ever has the misfortune of debating me. It's going to be a sad, sad day for Peter. But he'll learn something, and maybe his personal assets will grow larger because they gave him some advice that he found useful. What else? I don't know. I'll look at chat. This ought to be funny. All right, chat. It's been a long time now. Let's see if you guys get any smarter while I was gone. Probably not. I know there's some seconds of delay, so I guess I'll expand this thing, make my life a little bit easier. I'm sorry for you viewers at home. Somebody in chat says Richard Hart is the real Satoshi. I wish. I don't know. He seems a little bit like a pussy. I'm not a pussy. Satoshi could man up and defend his invention like I do for him, right? He's either dead or he's a bitch. I shouldn't have to be telling people who isn't Satoshi. He can tell them who is Satoshi, right? And sign off or burn his coins, et cetera, et cetera. He could send his coins to one Bitcoin eater, do not send, and whatever the extra letters are that is a burn address that no one has the private key to. And then we wouldn't have to worry about the 5% of Bitcoin that's just sitting out there in unknown hands. Comment on ETH 2.0. I don't think ETH. So ETH is in a weird spot. So I like ETH because it allowed me to build a trustless cryptocurrency that does things better than Bitcoin does without being 51% attacked. I like that. And with good auditing tools and good infrastructure and things like that. I like that. Now, do I care about the Ethereum price? No. The Ethereum price can drop to damn near zero. And as long as no one's attacking the network, that's fine for me. It just makes all my transactions cheaper, right? So if Ethereum's price wants to go extremely low and give me cheap transactions, great. Now at some point, the price could get so low that it's insecure. And then obviously the ERC20 tokens like BNB, DAI, HEX, some other, Chainlink is a new one that's, got a lot of value. Not value in like is good because it sucks, but value in a lot of people bought it. So that's, the history of ERC20 tokens for the most part, or crypto in general. So yeah, I don't think they're going to hit any of their time estimates whatsoever because they never have, and software's hard as hell. So you may never see proof of stake. You may never see ETH 2.0. They just may never happen, ever. Vitalik's quoted as saying that he doesn't know of any technical hurdles that haven't been addressed in theory, but in theory isn't useful, right? Like in theory is something you can read about, but you can't trade it, you can't buy it, you can't process transactions through it. So I said that Ethereum was good for a dip when it was down 20% on the day, and I think it went down 23 total percent. It was good for a bounce, and I was right. It bounced, and it was one of the largest down days for the last 2-3 years ever, really. Like, 20% a day is a lot. Well, it made new lows today, right? Which is why I called it a bounce, because I'm still got that 8,500 target in mind. And if Bitcoin takes a shit, Ethereum's taking a shit. So even though Bitcoin had only dropped 10% and Ethereum had dropped 20, well, if Bitcoin's still got to go down another 10, sorry Ethereum. I mean, I know you're already down 48% from your high, just shy of 400. Now you're under 200. Well, you got to go a little more, bud. That's what's up, because you're showing weakness against Everything's showing weakness against BTC. And the reason for that is because retail got left behind. And the bankers bought Bitcoin. And they didn't buy anything else. Well, when retail was in and had Bitcoin, then it was easy for them to rotate their mad gains into alts. And other people that saw their buddies get rich on Bitcoin were like, I missed the boat, so let me get in on alts. Well, now there's no retail in to tell the stories about the mad gains. And there's no retail that was in to rotate into alts. Alts are just getting annihilated. They're losing value in Bitcoin ups, and they're losing value in Bitcoin goes down. They're losing value both ways because of the mechanism I just described, which I'm proud of because I haven't heard anyone else talk about that. So you heard it here first. That's my theory on why alts are getting living shit kicked out of them, in addition to having no adoption and no reason to exist and half of them being scams, etc. No, far more than half. Well, it depends what you call a scam. A stupid idea that is going to lose everyone money. Not actually a scam, but just a dumb idea, overpriced dumb idea. You can do, I mean, there's a lot of people that do dumb ideas and lose money all the time, their own money. I mean, a lot of businesses start up, suck, and then, you know, the guy that started it just runs out of money. It doesn't mean it's a scam. It just means an overpriced bad idea. All right, let's get it. By the way, if you guys at me, it shows up orange on my screen. You know, if you like say my name with an at, it makes my life a lot easier because most of these comments are just garbage, such as Earth is flat, right? The Earth is flat guy probably is all in alts. Somebody says alts can't be shorted. Actually, yes, they can. And if you want to see where you can short alts, I'm going to tell you how to find out. Go to t.me/straight charts, or no, better yet, t.me/Richard's calls. All right. And I'm going to put a call in there just for you right now where you can talk about shorting alts. Now, I think shorting alts is stupid, and I'll tell you why. If you short anything, you might make money, but you ain't going to make more than 100%. If you shorted 20K, if you took $20,000 and you shorted 20,000 and you covered at zero, you'd make 20,000. That's 1x. Well, that's all you can get. You can't go past zero. But if you longed zero and it went to 20K, and let's say you bought it $1, you're up 20,000x. Okay, so your maximum upside short is 1x. And in this example, your maximum upside long is 20,000x. It's 20,000 times better, right? And if alts do recover, they will rip your fucking face off and you will lose everything. Just like I told you about shorting Bitcoin. Oh, you did real good shorting down from 20 to 3, right? Great. Well, now it just went up 5x in 4 months. You got your face ripped off. You gave it all back and more. Shorting crypto is suicide. And the time to do that was a long time ago. Even with as weak and as shitty as alts look, the reason they're going down a value to BCC is because BTC USD is going up. Period. So you'll make more longing BTC USD than you will shorting alts because you can get more than 100%. Period. So longing Bitcoin USD beats the shit out of shorting alts. Particularly when you've got richardhart.win, you take a margin. It's just, I don't think you should get into the business of shorting alts. You'll lose your ass. But if you do want to, I'll put that link right now in the calls channel, and then you can see someplace where you can short alts. All right. Chat's not as bad as normal today. Seems like there's actually some halfway brained questions in here, which is different because, well, I mean, different for obvious reasons. What I meant to say was it's the same improvement in discourse that I saw during the Senate hearings on Libra coin from Facebook. It seems like they brought their A team of senators. The questions were better. The discourse was better. When I watched the Senate or congressional hearings on Bitcoin, the questions were terrible. Like it was just a shit show. This was actually pretty good to watch. I mean, I guess it's because I hate Facebook and Republicans hate Facebook, and Democrats hate Facebook. Everybody fucking hates Facebook. Facebook's the worst. Remember when they bought WhatsApp and said, hey, we're not going to take the data? They took the data. They merged it up. What? Where's the antitrust? You guys can't just buy every possible competitor and be the only option for social forever. Nightmare. Data portability and open data would solve some of those problems, and one of the senators in there was talking about it. I'm like, oh shit, these guys actually have brains in their head. They actually know some solutions to this shit. And, you know, the lady that was a fighter pilot that flew the A-10 Warthog, Miss, I can't remember her name. She was awesome. I tweeted pictures of her next to a Warthog plane. I'm like, hell yeah, land to this guy. He's like, I don't trust you, Facebook man. I'm like, good, you shouldn't trust his ass. Oh, we're here for the good of, just for the kindness of our hearts. We're not really in for the profit. Shut the fuck up, dude. Come on. Everybody knows what you're here for. You're here for more money. You ain't done a damn, please. In your comparison between HEX and Bitcoin, you claim a higher transaction throughput for HEX. Well, I got to back that off. I don't think that's true. I thought about it some more. So in theory, if HEX were the only project on ETH, then it would have higher throughput because ETH has higher throughput than Bitcoin does. However, since it ain't the only project on there, then we have to share the bandwidth. I don't think with the ecosystem as it is now, well, see, it's like, do you care about maximum theoretical bandwidth? Okay, ETH beats Bitcoin. Do you care about cost to use the bandwidth? Because doing a transaction on Bitcoin is about 10 times more expensive. You want to do a transaction on ETH, it's like 2 cents. You want to do a transaction on Bitcoin, it could be like 30 cents, depending on how busy everything is, right? But you're getting more security for your money because there's more hash rate behind it, right? So in theory, a Bitcoin transaction should cost more. And the funny thing about transactions in crypto is how much you pay for your transaction is currently unrelated to how much you're sending. Now, an evil thing that I came up with that I think would be smart for miners to do would be to look at how much value you're getting from sending your transaction. And if you're getting more value, require a higher fee. And then if you're getting less value, require a lower fee. So it's the difference between pricing stuff based on what you can get versus what you paid. A lot of people just take what they paid and mark it up 40, 100%. That's what I did when I was in the car stereo business. That's what most retailers do. Just easy. Here's what I paid. I'm going to mark it up. I'm going to sell it. More advanced strategy is how much can I get from this? What's the competitive landscape look like? What do other products in this class look like? How do I fill up each price point so that each demographic of user can have a good experience? And you know, you could derive maximum profit in that way. You have to know more. You can't just be dumb and look at your prices and then just mark them up or down, which by the way is a little bit stupid. So let's say your distributor gives you a better deal on a product for a Christmas sale and you pass it on to your customers. Congrats, now you made less. You just made less money. Why? Well, you gave him a deal and you got a deal. But when you look at your actual net profit, 40% of a lower price tag is smaller than 40% of a higher price tag. So maybe you should just pass on some of the discount to the customer, right? Like just multiplying your cost by some number is a very remedial, stupid way of setting prices. So in my system, charging people to get into a block based on their value of getting in the block, based on how much they're trying to transact, seems more intelligent to me than just charging them for how much space they take. But hey, you know, if people want to work for less and be nice and roll your transaction into a block for less money, cool. Like, okay, work for less then, right? That's kind of what mining was designed to do, is get people to just kind of work at low profit. Scroll down here. If you ask me about a coin I don't own, I can't give a shit. So if you ask me about XYZ stupid ICO coin, I don't care. They obviously suck. They're obviously getting wrecked versus Bitcoin. Every single alt is getting wrecked versus Bitcoin except 2. That have, you know, decent transaction volume. You're paying a Mimblewimble, I don't care. Are you going to see it in real Bitcoin? Do you care about your anonymity? Do you run Tor? Do you run your own node? Do you like? I'm sure your OPSEC is garbage. So since your OPSEC's garbage, why are you gonna like? I don't know. Sure, like if you need, do you hold a lot of Monero? Do you actually use your coins that you want to have untraceable? Well, we have Monero now and it works. So why would you hope and dream for some other thing that might work, or might inflation bug everything? I don't know. I just, when you realize that technological progress has no bearing on the price and you only care about the price, since no one uses this stuff anyway, it's just hard to keep wanting to read white papers constantly about new technological innovation that will never happen. I mean, but for multiple years now, I've been talking about sidechains and how we needed to get ticker symbols onto Bitcoin so that we could take away all the pump from Ethereum by servicing that market, where the only reason to buy crypto was to get these other cryptos, right? So why did everyone buy Ethereum? To get all these other things, because that was the on-ramp, right? Well, if we had that on-ramp of Bitcoin, Bitcoin would have pumped harder. And what happened? Nothing happened. Do we have sidechains? No. Do we have drive chain? No. We have fuck all. We have nothing. We have Lightning with $10 million in the whole network. And will that help do what I just talked about? Nope. So like my incentive to read about state chains and side chains and every other new cool thing that comes on Bitcoin, I just really don't care that much. Why? Why should I care? Oh, it's a cool new innovation that will never get rolled in. What's the last innovation you guys got? SegWit. Multiple years ago. Yeah, that's it. The last innovation you guys got was SegWit multiple years ago. Can't care, right? Like just, hey, there's a new exchange opening up. So what? CME opened up, biggest market in the world. Price dropped from 20K, 3K. I don't give a fuck about new markets. I don't care, right? Show me volume, right? Oh, your new market? Oh, you're backed? Backed is opening up? Congrats, guys. Hey, LedgerX opened up too, and they don't do fucking volume. They don't do nothing, right? So show me backed. Show me your volume. CBOE opened up. They did so much volume, they took the product off. They just turned it off. They're like, we didn't want to deal with Bitcoin anymore. They just turned it off. So I don't give a shit about backed or stupid new exchanges opening up. I care about people buying, right? So do you think new people are going to buy because some new white paper's idea got rolled into Bitcoin? No, they're not. The only interesting thing that you could add to Bitcoin would be anonymous transactions, and I don't think you'll ever get them rolled into the code, ever, because everyone will lose their bank accounts, right? All these people, like Coinbase and exchanges that like receiving money to sell you crypto and make billions of dollars doing it, they'll lose their accounts if that shit becomes anonymous. 2 stories about XYZ terrorist using crypto, and the bank's like, yeah, right? Because of the passporting rule, where you have to hand to the next bank the information about the customer that is sending money and all this other crap. So yeah, I don't give a shit about all the cool tech white papers. I'll let me know when it's in the code. Let me know when we have a soft fork or a hard fork that activates it. I'll read up about it. If you don't have a soft fork or a hard fork or a bit written with everyone signaling for it as a miner, I just don't give a fuck, because it ain't gonna happen. And if miners do signal for it, maybe it's 40% to happen. Maybe. Yeah, Vitalik said ETH should use Bitcoin Cash. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. So my theory is, like, there's 2 paths to this. One, I haven't read the proposal. It sounds fucking retarded. I just don't really care to read about it. But for fun, if it is the case that the enemy of your enemy is your friend, and if causing dissension among the ranks between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash helps people that aren't Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, and you can get them to fight amongst themselves, then in theory it could help ETH. Now, I don't think Vitalik's shady like that, and I don't think he tries to pump price like that. So I would imagine that his thing that he proposed was actually probably technically useful. But without having that high opinion of Vitalik, I would say off the bat, oh, look, you're trying to stir shit between 2 competitors to fuck them up, and then your thing can pump harder, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. Let's go down the list here. How about revisit 6.5K to fuck with everyone? The maximum, and this, who asked this, is an admin in my channel. He has bids set very, very low, extremely low. like $5. He wants a wick down, right? He wants to buy the dip because he was left behind, like me and almost every other intelligent trader, by this fucking parabola out of nowhere with no interest, no Google searches, no news, nothing. Just 5x price with only a 25% dip that was a fluke dip, right? Now is the first real dip, 30 to 40% dip that we're getting. So he wants to see the price drop low as fuck. I've given you the reasons it ain't going down there, right? Pumping on no news at all is more bullish than pumping on news. Reasons come and go. It's better to pump for no reason because then the reason can't go away, right? Like you CME, pump for it. We got it and then we died. Okay, so we pumped for a thing and we got the thing and then we died. Well, if you didn't pump for a thing, it can't go away, right? So the fact that we pumped on nothing is more bullish than pumping on something. The fact that retail is not in is more bullish than pumping on something, right? If retail were more in and if more weekends were in, we would have had more wicks, we would have had more downside, and we could expect, bigger dips. This is the first actual normal ass dip, of which we had 7 or 8 of these on the run up from 200 to 20,000. We're supposed to be getting these things. They're normal. And, when people margin trade or have weak hands, they buy in, price drops, they get out, they get wrecked, then they buy higher when the market leaves them behind because human beings are constantly rationalizing and readjusting to understand the reality. So if you look at a piece of white paper, it looks white to you. What is that piece of white paper? And then I show you another piece of white paper. You're like, what's that white paper? And you look at them and this one's like yellow and this one's like blue. You're like, oh, they're kind of different. Maybe this is like an eggshell. Maybe this is like, some type of sea mist infused thing. And you're like, you don't notice that the two whites are different, right? Or white balance in a photo. So you could have huge differences in color, but that's good that we work that way. We want our eyes to work similar at noon as it does at sunrise or sunset. Sideways light, yellow light, totally different than overcast daytime light, which is very blue, right? So like a yellow light, 6,500 Kelvin, blue light, 9,300 Kelvin, calorie temperature. But our brain doesn't care, it just auto balances everything. Well, it does the same thing with price. So when you see a giant red candle pump, and then another giant red candle, so we did 14, and then we did 12, right? And we did 14 and 13. I don't have the chart up in front of me. And then you just see these drives. You're like, all right, there's a first drive, here's a second drive. We're basically, nearing the bottom of a second drive. Maybe we bounce and then do our third drive down to 8,500. Maybe we go 8,500 straight. It's not that far. Maybe tomorrow's hearings will get it. Or, plenty of probabilities, right? It was improbable that we had 5x in 4 months. It's improbable that we violate a 40% dip. It's a probability game. So you might want to look into something called Kelly Criterion, which mathematically proves that if you think if you're 50% certain that something's going to go up, you bet 50% of your money. If you're 100% certain, you bet 100% of your money. If you're 20% certain, you bet 20% of your money. It turns out that you should never be all in unless you're 100% certain. And if you have any doubt whatsoever, you shouldn't be all in. That's the math. Look it up, Kelly Criterion. It's neat. When people talk about money management crypto, they never actually give you the math behind it. Well, there's the math. It's more useful than what you'll see on Twitter for money management. There's other stuff that you can put in there, but that's a hell of a great start that very few people know about, unless they're poker players, and even then, I'm not sure how many of them know it. Have I invited Schiff to my channel? Yeah, he's bad at internet, he's bad at technology, he's bad at interweb, he's not good at stuff. So I have to find a side channel to communicate to him, because I look forward to crushing him, pretty much. He talks a lot of shit, and he's been saying the incorrect shit for a decade or more, and I need to put smackdown on the man and make him look a bitch. I'm the guy to do it. So apparently Rand Neuer, who does CNBC Africa, has an into him. I might reach out to him and say, yo, put me in touch. And then I could educate the man for my viewing audience's pleasure. and his, when he stops getting wrecked buying something dumber. If you buy gold instead of Bitcoin, you're stupid. Sorry. Bitcoin went 5x in 3 months. Gold will go 5x in 30 years. Very easy choice. Very, very easy choice. Bitcoin's a revolution based on a computer science breakthrough. Gold has been around for thousands of years. They can mine as much gold as they want on the ground. They can go grab asteroids and point them towards this way that are just pure gold, like pure gold asteroid, right? Like has, 10 times what's on Earth already. Fuck gold. You dig it out of the ground to bury it back in the ground under a bank. It's not productive. It's not useful. I wear it. I mean, shit. This is gold. It's white gold. They basically alloy it with nickel to make it this color. And then they coat it with rhodium for some other reason. I'm not sure. If you rub it a lot, you actually see it turn more yellow. So gold on its own, dents real easy. It's not even good enough for me to keep this as the gold that it is, right? I had to alloy it up with other stuff to make it white gold. It's not that great. This bracelet here, it's a 2003 Rolex. They just turned this from silver to gold, and it has a big dent right there, just like they all do. Why? Because it's weaker than stainless steel was. Why? Well, they wanted to make it prettier and make it, go all the way through, and now they all have dents here because gold sucks. So diamonds also suck, by the way. These do not look as good as Swarovski crystals. GH Keller Si2 Clarity, Swarovski crystals look better. Oh, why don't you get D Flawless? I like keeping my fingers. At some point, you can only wear so much money on your body before your ass is endangering yourself. All right, down the list. Someone says Earth is flat. Nope, I don't think so. What's my all-time high prediction? I think 100K is a nice round number. That sounds nice. I think 60K is an okay number. 60 to 100K. I'll give you better data as we get closer. I kind of like to understand the market participants a little bit better. Without me knowing who bought those giant bags and 5x the price from 3K to 14K, I'm not super confident in that prediction. So I think a wider range of 60 to 100 is totally reasonable. We've never done less than a 3x over the previous all-time high after ending a bear market. So I think 60K is conservative. I think 100K is quite reasonable as well. Do I know for a fact it was institutions? Nope. I got no goddamn idea. But I know whoever it was wasn't Google searching. So, and they weren't buying futures before they did it. I mean, this move was weird. Really, really weird. If you're some institution and you're on the trade desk and your boss comes along and is like, hey, we need to buy a couple billion of Bitcoin. Get us in at the lowest price you can. And you get a BitMEX account. You 100x that shit before you press order at your exchange job, right? So the fact that there was no margins or premiums on any product that you could use to amplify your gains, whether it be options or futures, means that whoever entered this market was just fucking retarded and didn't want the free money of pumping futures and options and then pumping price and getting paid twice, right? I don't understand it. I mean, for that to be the case, either the person doing it, yeah, I mean, maybe the person doing it didn't have access to those products, which I find impossible. Or maybe there's no Kaiser Sose conspiracy and it's just organic buying because people really need Bitcoin because they really need it. Nah, nobody really needs this stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Really weird. Really, really weird. What if my 8,500 call goes to 7,500? Well, then you'll be really happy to have your liquidation price under 5,000, won't you? Lucky you. Lucky you only went 1x, right? Or you bought spot. We pumped on nothing. If we get any good news at all, lucky us, price will go up more. Fabulous. Litecoin Halvening, I don't care. I mean, that's priced in, right? Like they led the market, they pumped before Bitcoin did, then they died before Bitcoin died. So it's nice that it's a leading indicator, maybe, but it's, been getting its ass kicked by Bitcoin for a couple months now. Just look at the LTC BTC pair. It's not pretty. I got people shilling their HEX links in here. I like it. Good job, boys. You're going to get rich on those things soon. Will XRP rebound? Maybe. I have no idea why. I mean, all their partnerships are fake. No one really uses it. They bought, I'll tell you a funny story about XRP. So XRP, nobody's interested in using it. I tweeted about this today. First of all, no one remits any money. No one gives a fuck, okay? Not that much money is sent from point A to B. And even if you thought a lot of money was sent from point A to B, the amount of money that you charge as a fee to do that sending is rather small. And the amount of costs that you have to do that sending are gigantic, not because you have a problem using your Excel spreadsheet to track how much money you got, but because you have to have a human being sit at the place to receive the cash and sit at the place to give the cash. And that's a physical location with a physical person that could have been selling bottles of milk. And bottles of milk have a lot of margin, a lot of markup, and they don't need a lot of training to sell bottles of milk. And so to have them not sell a bottle of milk and instead spend 10 minutes with some idiot writing down poorly their address and shit, if you look at how long it takes for someone to remit money, it takes 10, 12 minutes per user to send that money. Okay, well, your storefront only has how many customer service reps on how many windows, right? And I've lived in the third world. Most Western unions, even the shittiest of places, aren't going to have more than 3 or 4 windows, maybe 5, right? Okay, well, that's what? 5 customers per hour per window. So now you can get 25 customers, 8 hours. You've got like 200 customers total that you can serve. That ain't that good, right? How much are you making per customer? They're sending maybe $200 each, $300 each, making 10%. So you got 200 customers at $10, that's like $2,000 a day. The numbers suck, right? If you do normal retail and sell phone cases, you may do better, right? Which is why you don't see many of these. If you want to do money remittance and go to a Western Union or a MoneyGram, there aren't that many of them because it is not that profitable. And if more of them opened, the few number of people would have to spread their profit even wider, right? So remittances isn't a very good business. The margins are only going down, and they do not have any competitive advantage whatsoever from integrating any crypto bullshit into their systems to replace the Excel spreadsheets they use or fancy database technology. There's no savings there, okay? The same asshole that has to sit at the endpoint and hand out the cash still has to do it, and the same ingestion point still has to do it. There's no savings there. So XRP decided they'd buy some stock in MoneyGram. XRP bought some number of millions of dollars of XRP stock, or of MoneyGram stock. MoneyGram stock went up like 50% or 100% or something, and XRP's price didn't move. Oh, that was funny. Fuck those fake crypto guys. So, yeah, if you actually want to reduce the cost of remittances, there is no advantage whatsoever by replacing the Excel spreadsheet with slower, less reliable, more expensive blockchain technology. I am building a blockchain project. I know how bad the blockchain sucks. It is extremely slow and extremely unreliable and variably expensive. It ain't good in any sense of the term. It provides one good thing: censorship resistance. No one's trying to censor MoneyGram's Excel spreadsheet. They receive no benefit whatsoever from rolling crypto in there. Thus, if you want to reduce the cost of payments for people, then businesses everywhere have to actually accept the crypto so that it doesn't have to go back to cash. So when someone breaks their leg and needs to pay their doctor, they can just pay the doctor with crypto. If businesses don't accept crypto, there will never be a competitive advantage for replacing MoneyGram or Western Union's Excel spreadsheet with some crypto product. It's actually very bad for them. It's garbage, right? So I'm glad that crypto price can pump when no one uses it for anything. Less ATMs, less retailers accepting it, less on-chain transaction volume, less wallet downloads, less Google searches, price 5x'd in 4 months. Ain't that a bitch? Don't you wish trading was easier? Don't you wish the news mattered? Don't you wish, the fucking actual adoption mattered? Nah. right? Which is why I'm more than happy to buy the dip. I don't see any reason at all for this to go up other than it has gone up, and that's good enough for me. That's all I need. It's a very high risk, high reward play. Going back to chat. Good job, chat, on not sucking as much as normal. You guys must have got smarter. Or maybe the only people that are left are people that didn't get wrecked in the bear market. Could be. Is real is the volume right now. There's a product. So a lot of people use CoinMarketCap. There's a better product. I'm weary of shit talking anyone because of HEX, right? I would like to see HEX listed everywhere. So I'm very weary of shit talking any exchanges. I would like to see HEX well represented on CoinMarketCap. They're a very important website. So I'm weary of shit talking them. So I try and frame things positively. All right. There is a website called OnChainFX, and OnChainFX has a lot of really cool tools that no other website has. You can look up ROI by year, like which coins did best in 2017. That's fucking cool. You can look up ROI from local low, right? Like what's the cycle low price? That's fucking awesome. Great. You can look up drop from local high. You can look up your break even, how many multiple to get break even. Man, that's a lot of cool fucking tools, right? And another tool they have is they show the exchanges that have real volume that's real and not fake bullshit. And you might want to look into that tool. I think they call it the Real 10 or Real 15, some real number index. So they have claimed volume, and then they've got like real volume, non-bullshit volume. So I guess you asked a good question. I'm weary of like name dropping products. These guys seem nice, so I'll name drop OnChainFX to you guys. That's on, like you turn a light on. Chain, like this badass chain right here. Power to profit. And FX, like foreign exchange FX, you know. Hollywood FX. Frank X-Ray. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. It's appreciated. I'm glad you appreciate it because I don't make much doing this shit, and I could be building my white paper or doing other stuff now. So the only reason I did it is because got my hair cut, figured fuck it. I haven't seen you guys in a while, you know. This cough that I had is going away. You can tell my voice is still a little fucked up, but I've been waiting for the dip, you know. When you're sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy the damn dip, you're not that excited to be like, hey, everyone buy up that price so I can't get in, leave my ass behind. You're less excited to be pumping everyone's bags. Now, I still do it on Twitter, and I still do it on my calls channel and such, because I got a lot of people to follow me, and I want to do them a good service. But to hop on YouTube and pump the price more when I want a lower entry, it's like, no. Like, I want a lower entry. Talking to you guys is great, but making a good trade on margin is better. So, won't quantum computing make Bitcoin impossible? We just hard fork to quantum secure crap. So we can fix it if time be if we need to. Any interesting stories about Florida? Yeah, I got a lot of those. Everyone does. Just go to floridaman.reddit.com and you can read all the stories you want about Florida. Yeah, we have real volume, dude. Yes, the CME is real as fuck volume. And they do $250 million days. So yes, we have real, legit ass volume in crypto. I think the same guy wasn't convinced by my last answer. Remittance is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. Is this a set or your home? Just goes to show any idiot can buy a lottery ticket and get rich quick. You suck and exploit women. First off, you're dumb fuck. No, the remittance industries do not make that much money, which is why when you look up the most valuable companies that exist in the world, they ain't anywhere near the top at all. Nowhere. Second, yeah, I live here. It just looks awesome. If you have good taste, your house should look awesome. The shit costs almost the same, right? this multi-100-year real wood antique here, I'll sell it for more than I paid for it. So why would I buy anything else, right? Like, the shit that looks good costs just about the same as the shit that looks bad. So if your house doesn't look this good, you're just stupid. Like, you're not good at shopping, pretty much. Like, there's no reason for your shit to not look awesome. Unless you're broke, which it sounds like you might be. Do I exploit women? Yeah, girls like me. And I don't have any of their enemies, ever. They like me a lot. So, apparently I make them happy. What else? Buy a lottery ticket and get rich. I've been a millionaire since I was in my 20s, self-made, and done it multiple times in multiple industries. So, and this was long before Bitcoin came out. So I was a millionaire in 2003, retired in 2004, and traveled the world. So you might want to look into my history. You don't know shit. Richard's live streams are rare as platinum. More rare, sir. They mine platinum every day. You're not going to get a Richard Hart live stream every day. It would suck to try and turn me into jewelry, though. That would be messy. Somebody says I look good. Thank you, because I feel like a fat piece of crap. I am gigantic. Like, I am not skinny. I think I'm like 255. The muscles are looking all right, I guess, but like, it's just not skinny at all. Yeah, I got to drop weight. My closet continues to have a smaller and smaller selection of things to wear. Good thing I look okay in a black shirt, I guess. What's the deal with the Satoshi lawsuit? Well, when you pretend to be something, so when you get sued in civil court, your option is to defend yourself or get a default judgment against you. If you get a default judgment, then the plaintiff can use that default judgment to encumber any assets that you have anywhere in the world that's willing to play ball with the order of a United States judge. So you file a motion that says, hey, judge, I've got this here award, and he ain't paid me, so I need to dock his wages and seize his goods. And then there's some tools that I won't tell you about, because you don't need to know about them, that you can use to find people's assets, and private investigators do that shit for a living, right? I guess I could tell you about one. It's called LexisNexis, and that's where you can find most people's assets. So you take your LexisNexis search, you find all the stuff the dude owns, you go to the judge, you say, here's my judgment, I need to seize this dude's stuff, and if he has a job, I need to dock his wages. And the judge says, sure, fuck that guy. Doop. And then he hands you your, I can't remember what they call it, but so when they take your wages, it's called garnishment. And I'm not sure exactly what they call that order to seize funds civilly. It's probably some other name for it. If it were criminal, asset seizure is the correct term. But civil, there might be another fancy word for it. So fake Satoshi didn't want to get a default judgment and have some multi-million or multi-billion-dollar take all my money away kind of warrant thing floating around for him. So he kind of had to go stick to a story. So he said all this stuff publicly, he said all this stuff privately. And now the funny thing is he didn't actually have to stick to a story. He could have been like, yeah, I'm not actually Satoshi. And I was just trying to scam you, and pretending to work with this guy and pretending to be this thing allowed me to scam some other people. But I was just kidding. You could have done that, right? Instead, he wanted to double down on the scam, right? So made fake documents, forged things, tried to change a lot of things, got caught, and then, now is trying to explain to the judge why he shouldn't be found in contempt. Because if you go to court and the person suing you wins, okay, well, then he just wins. But if you go to court and you start lying to the judge, you've committed a new crime, and a judge don't like that, so he's going to fuck you up. And he could fuck up more than just you. He could fuck up your lawyer too, right? So there's a law that, as a lawyer, when you bring evidence to the judge, you have to believe it's real evidence and not tainted and screwed up and messed with and full of shit. Or you can be fucked up as the lawyer. This is in the United States. I know quite a bit about American law because it's just fun. It's like war, but with pens, right? Pen war. And I like that kind of stuff. So he's defending himself against a contempt, charge, kind of, right? He's in a hearing that's like, convince me why I shouldn't hold you in contempt and censure you and fine you or imprison you and all these other things because he was fucking the judge around. And judges don't like that. Now, I'm not totally up to date on it. I might have missed one update, maybe. But it's not looking good for fake Satoshi. Photoshi. Don't be a liar. Don't be a scammer. Don't lie to judges. Don't do shit that makes people sue you. Your life will be better. Do I have thoughts about EOS? Yeah, it's not a cryptocurrency. They can take your money whenever they want. 11 guys can get together and decide to take your money, and they have done that. They have moved people's funds around. Is it high throughput? Yes. Why? Because 11 guys can move your money whenever they want. It's not real crypto. So if you want high throughput with fake crypto, they have it. That's cool. If you want that, there it is. If you want real crypto, where your money stays your money, well, that ain't it. So, my thoughts on Noriel versus Hayes debate. It's a lot of what Noriel says is true. And it doesn't matter, right? Guys, US dollar is the worst thing in the world because most people get kidnapped for it. Yeah, that's true. Most people get, kidnapped and they want, USD or something very similar fiat currency wise to pay off the kidnappers. Does that make USD bad? Well, no, it makes it useful, right? Criminals use it. Yeah, because it's useful. Like for the same reason non-criminals use it, right? So that's not a good argument, right? Scammers use it. Fucking scammers use everything. Scammers are smart, right? That's how they scam, by being smart. Well, short-term smart. Maybe crafty or conniving is a better word. So, yeah, saying that stuff sucks because criminals use it is retarded. You would need to have a higher, if only criminals use a thing, well then that's different. But if criminals use the minority of it, it's a very stupid argument. What else does he say? Well, he says all the same shit Peter Schiff says. Oh, it's not backed by anything. Neither is the dollar. Oh, it's backed by the military. No, it's not. Show me the last time the military backed it. Every time we invade someplace, the fucking value goes down. What? It's stupid. Oh, we're going there to defend oil. Well, why is the price of oil going up instead of down? We're going there to get oil, right? So we got more supply, so the price go down, right? Why is the price going up? People say stupid shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. If Noriel had a brain in his head, right, he would have bought the dip, like I'm telling you guys to do. And then he could shut up and stop running his mouth and get paid. He'll get paid, 30, 40 grand, maybe 10 grand, depends on what he's talking about. You can go get his rates, right? He makes his money flapping his lips. That's how he gets paid, talking shit, right? How does he get paid? By talking shit about crypto. Okay, well, I'm glad that's how you decided to make your money. Everyone that listens to you hates you because they're all wrecked, because they all missed the opportunities of their lifetime because they took your advice. People that listen to me, they're all making money. I called the top at 20K, right? Okay, well, there it was. I said to sell the top at about 17 after I found out that we couldn't get over it. And then I called the fucking start of the multi-year bear market, which turned out to be just 1 year bear market at 8,500. And I've been waiting to buy. I called the end of the the end of the bear market at 4,000. And I've been waiting to buy the fucking dip. Went on television, told you I'd buy the next dip. Been waiting for it. It's finally here, right? So I'll be long and strong as this dip gets deeper. So if you go on television and you tell people to not buy the best asset that's ever existed in the last 10 years or in history, really, you're fucking retarded. Stop getting paid 10 or 20 grand to go on stage and talk shit occasionally and buy the fucking dip and join Team Win and get rich, right? This is a computer science breakthrough that can change the relationship of man and government. Yes, we ain't got no adoption yet. Yes, no retailers are using it yet. Yes, the throughput sucks now. Well, you're in early, man. Look at the price on those bad things. We're pumping hard as fuck. Imagine if we fix those things. We'll pump even harder. Be happy, right? It's really once in a lifetime shit. Crypto is, I guess it's not once in a lifetime because HEX is coming out. So, and there are other alts that are beating Bitcoin still. Not many, but some. So like, if it ain't once in a lifetime, it's damn single digits lifetime opportunity kind of stuff, right? So, all right. So you guys, that's questions I missed. A lot of questions in here. I guess this is what happens when you don't stream for like half a year. My cameras is just dusty. I'm hitting the buttons like, damn, there's a lot of dust on here. Is ETH a good buy? ETH might be a good buy. However, it is not as good a buy as Bitcoin because the market has decided to buy Bitcoin instead of ETH. Period. If that changes for some reason, and I already told you why that might change, if retail was already in and had a lot of gains in Bitcoin to brag about, then people might be looking for the next Bitcoin. That didn't happen. No Google searches. Everybody got left behind. Now they're starting to get in. If they get in now and we go for a year and everyone's jealous of their friends' gains, then they might look to rotate into the next big thing because they figure they missed the boat, right? Or if Ethereum had better custody solutions and was on the CME and had better regulatory certainty like Bitcoin does, Bitcoin is in a better position to pump. It just is. ICOs are dead. It's Bitcoin's time to shine, pretty much. Now, maybe a year from now, after it's pumped for a while, then it can be alt season again. I've also seen some analysis in regards to alt season and the Bitcoin halving, and apparently, I didn't check it, but the rumor is that alt seasons happen half a year or midway through the cycle, which would be 2 years, after halvings and not before. You'd have to check that data. I haven't checked it out. You know, if you see, like, here's the other thing, right? If you have the opportunity to long something, you want to long the USD pair because the weaker the USD is, the harder your pump. If you long an altcoin pair, you're competing against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will fuck you up. If Bitcoin just raises the same as you, you make no money. You're literally like when you bet an altcoin pair versus Bitcoin, you're betting that Bitcoin is going to do worse than the other thing, which is a terrible bet when you have other bets available to you that are USD will do worse than the thing. Well, fuck, USD is going to do way worse than the thing than another crypto, usually, right? So you could make 10x on a Bitcoin long. You ain't going to make 10x on an Ethereum BTC long as a base, right? Like you could take a margin and multiply it, right? Like if you're 10x long and the price goes up 10x, well, you're up 100x, right? So I'm just talking like the base. You ain't going to see Ethereum do 10x better than Bitcoin. This is not happening, right? Could Ethereum do 10x better than USD? Sure. But if it did that, Bitcoin probably did 15x or 20x looking at these last 5 months, right? You got to, something changed. The market changed. The participants changed. The people that bought this are not the same people that bought 2017. So shit's a little bit different now. They're not FOMOing into retard shit like they were. Give them a year to get rich. Maybe they'll FOMO retard shit again. People keep talking about scalability. No one gives a fuck. No one needs scalability. Everyone that wants to transact can transact very affordably right now. Now there's a tipping point. As soon as you hit that tipping point, then it seems like everyone really, needs the space then, right? So as long as the blocks aren't full, then everything seems okay. When they do get full, people will start complaining about scalability some more. I really don't, personally, I think there's solutions to scalability that are just so easy, I don't know why people don't do them. I'll give you one, right? Break Bitcoin up regionally. Yo, send me 20 North American Bitcoins. Who gives a fuck? You can do that, right? And then you've got, 10 regions, you just 10x the throughput of Bitcoin. What's the downside? Oh, they have less hash rate. So, and Ethereum has less hash rate, has no problems. Right? So like, I think you could use remedial, retarded style solutions if scalability actually were a sustained problem. That's not really a problem like that yet, right? Now, people are going to say, oh, Richard thinks he solved scalability with sharding. Well, yeah, that's what we have now. We do have multiple blockchains that do perform separately from each other and all do a similar job of transporting value, and they do function. And the majority of them function the majority of the time. So yes, what I'm describing already fucking works. Multiple cryptocurrencies already works. And that's the other thing I don't understand. Like, why would you ever do Ethereum on Bcash for storage when you could just do, hey guys, we're just forking Ethereum and now it's Ethereum 2 and we're just using it for a storage layer? Why not do that? Like, so fucking easy. I think people over-engineer shit sometimes. Why do gaps tend to get filled? I have no fucking idea, but they do. So it could be, it could be confirmation bias. It could be like a rumor, right? Like, there's just volatility, and volatility tends to fill all gaps or reversion to the mean. And then we just see gaps because they stand out. And then we just look at volatility and reversion to the mean and assume they get filled. But as long as enough people think that that's why they're getting filled, then it works. So fine with me, right? It's not that gaps have to get filled. It's just that they have. And so people continue to believe that they will. It's just like Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin have to go up? Nope. But I'm looking at the chart and shit looks like it wants to go up forever. So I'm just going to keep longing it until it stops doing that, right? And it's a good bet. What's the best hardware wallet? Yeah. Hardware wallets are hard to recommend. Whichever one integrates their HEX integration first is who I would say. Please explain how to 10x on Bitcoin. Well, you could go 2x long and wait for 5x in price. There's your 10x. Or you could go 1x long and wait for 10x. Or you could go no x long and wait for 10x. Like, a lot of ways to get there. Stocks are funny. I try and explain this to people. You guys that think you own stocks, you don't actually own stocks. Show me the certificates. You don't have the certificates, you don't own stock. Who has the certificates? It's DTCC Corporation. Google it, Wikipedia it. They actually own the stocks. You have an IOU with the DTCC Corporation. Maybe if the shit hits the fan, you'll get your stocks. Maybe you won't, because you don't actually own them. What can you do with your stocks? Can you eat them? No. Can you build a house with them? No. Can you go to the cash register of the store that you own stock in and take some cash out? Nope. Can you change the opening hours? Nope. Why? Because you're a fucking nobody, a scrub that has no voting rights and no control whatsoever, and you can't take it out of the money company. You cannot take any money out of the company, even if you want to, because you're a scrub with no voting rights. So what are you? You're a greater fool. Now, is that okay? Yes, it's okay. Why? Because they keep printing the money, and all the money's got to go somewhere, and the somewhere where they put it happens to be the most productive place for it, which is in productive businesses. What's an unproductive business? Gold. Why? It just sits there. What do you mean it just sits there? You dig it out of the ground, and then you put it back in the ground under a bank. That's all you do with it. Ground. Well, that's stupid. Yeah, that is stupid. So what's unproductive? Well, a farm. Why? Well, every year crops grow and food comes out. So what was not there becomes there. They produce things. They're productive, right? So productive assets, which are businesses, are the most productive use of capital, which is why the S&P 500 shits on everything else always, because it should, because everything that you look around you in your house that's worth a shit was built by companies. And so companies are building the world. Companies are building the value. Companies are what is creating the value in the world. Value is goods and services, period. The goods and services are deployed and invented by companies, right? And really, what's a company? Company is just a bunch of people and machines doing shit. So if you buy stock in a company, you will be a greater fool. You can only sell the stock. That's all you can do. Can't write yourself a check from the company's account. Can't reach in the cash register. Can't change the opening hours. You're a fucking scrub that just owns usually some IOUs from the DTC company, DTCC, that actually owns the shares in the stock, right? So why am I telling you this? Because one, when I tell you stuff, there's the thing I tell you, and then there's the nuanced understanding of it. Because I tell you the truth, and then you have to process the truth, right? So are you going to get rich buying the S&P 500? Yes. Is it a good place to put your money? Yes. Why? Because their company is the best things that exist in the world. They produce everything that's good, right? The camera I'm talking to you on, company. Microphone, company. Candles, company. Shirt, company. Everything you're looking at, this shit was all made by companies, right? And what are companies? They're just people and machines. So when people say that crypto sucks because it's not backed by anything, or you can't do anything with it. You can't do anything with your Coca-Cola stock either. Can you buy Coca-Cola with Coca-Cola stock? No. They'll take you out of the store. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here. We accept dollars or credit cards. We don't accept Coca-Cola stock for Coke. Oh, well, fuck me. I really would like a Coke, but I own like 5% of the company. If you own 5% of Coca-Cola stock, you cannot buy a Coca-Cola with it. Okay? So when people talk about how shitty crypto is because you can't spend it, I'm like, who cares? That shit does not matter, right? You can't spend Coca-Cola stock either, but the price keeps going up. We care that the price goes up. That's all we give a fuck about. People that buy Coca-Cola stock are not soda enthusiasts. They're not out there with their pH meters making sure that the bite is just right. They just want to get rich, okay? So when you're in financial products, getting rich is more than enough. You don't actually have to be able to buy shit with the stuff that makes you rich, right? Period. If you own a taxi, can you buy stuff with your taxi? No, but you can ride people around it and get cash and then buy stuff with cash, right? Can you buy stuff with your crypto? No, but you can fucking hold it and watch the price go up and sell some and buy it with that. So I hate the argument that stocks and other finance shit is okay, even though you can't do anything with it. But Bitcoin's not okay because you can't do anything with it. It's fucking stupid. Very stupid. I understand the value of stock because when I start businesses, I own 100% of the stock. So I get to be a director, so I get to make decisions. And if I didn't own that percent of the stock, then I might not get to be a director, then I might not get to make any fucking decisions. Then I might have to sit on that illiquid ass stock ownership forever until I found someone else that wanted to buy it. Hey, please buy this. Can someone please buy this for me? Because I can't do anything with it. I can't write fucking checks out of the company account. Can you please buy the stock, please? And people don't understand that that's what stocks are really about. If you don't have majority control and you can't elect directors, then you don't control shit. And then you can only sell to a greater fool to get the fuck out. But why would you want to get out when the price keeps going up? Any thoughts on the stock to flow ratio? Seems fine. When you see Bitcoin charts that show the price going like that, or for you people at home, like that, it's a regression chart. What a regression chart does is there's some math formula called like least squares or something that looks at a pattern of numbers and says this pattern of numbers is most likely to generate the same shape of pattern of numbers in the future with this formula. And so it's a way to try and turn the past into the future. You go, hey, what formula would have generated that shape of numbers, that curve? Okay, cool. And then let's see where that goes, right? Now the problem with that is that it repaints. So as you get more data, that regression channel will continue to move, right? So when you look at these old regression charts, they're inaccurate because the movement that was outside of the prediction will change the prediction, right? As they should. Oh, you got new data? You should change your model. You got new data? Update your model. You got new data? Update your model. Why would you keep an old model? The world fucking changes, right? So if you're looking at an old regression chart, you're stupid. They should move with time. And, you know, the stock to flow thing, it's fine, right? Like, so all those charts mean is we're still going to keep going up like hell, but we're going to go up like hell less over time. And that's all that they say. That's what the regression chart shows, right? Chat. This is funny. I'll read this. I'm fucking out of here. Rich and talking shit about my stock on Livestream? Fuck that. I out. Take my wrench. Fuck crypto stocks is the future. Crypto is dump. Peace. I'm out. I like this dude. He's an admin. He's not an admin, but if he were slightly less funny and more serious, he would be an admin because he's hilarious. Is a blockchain useful for anything other than currencies? Yeah, you can use it for anything you need censorship resistance, period. If you need anything else, it is useless garbage. It is the slowest, most unreliable, most expensive way to do anything in computing. Literally, seriously, it's that bad. But it's censorship resistant. So if you need censorship resistance, it's fabulous. So what are other things you'd want to use it for other than currency? I don't know. You could record, things people are trying to fake, like diamonds or stuff. But even when you try and do that, it doesn't actually make sense, right? So, okay, let's say I have a diamond. So for instance, I bought girls Tiffany diamond rings. And when you buy them those things, most people don't know this, but there's actually a serial number laser engraved on the stone. And I'm a photographer, so I happen to have a Canon 1x to 5x lens called the MP-E65 or MP65E. And it's not autofocus. You got to manually focus it. And it goes from about this size to about this size. And the opening on the end is extremely small. And it's a microscope, basically. It allows you to magnify something 5 times larger on the sensor. So if you've got a 35 millimeter sensor, which I think is 36 millimeter wide by 24 millimeter high, it will take a grain of rice and allow you to put 5x grain of rice on the sensor. And then when you want to go on a billboard, so if you want to take a grain of rice and put it on a billboard and have great resolution, it's pretty much the best tool that exists to do that. There's other macro lenses out there that go up to about 1x or 2x. So I use that to just look at the serial number myself on the diamond. And why do I mention that? Well, one, I took it to a jeweler and the dumbass couldn't find it. So I had to make him look stupid and show him the photo and like, yo, I found it. You're bad at your job. 2, if you try to blockchain that, so what are you going to do? Okay, we got a number on a diamond. Okay, so we'll put the number on the blockchain. Okay, you did that. The shit doesn't make any sense. So I make a fake diamond and I put the same fucking number on it. Okay, now what? Now what? You don't, it's fucking useless. The blockchain becomes much less useful once you leave the digital realm, right? Once you enter the material realm, okay, here's the real Tiffany diamond with a serial number. Here's the fake Tiffany diamond with the same serial number. They're both on the blockchain. Okay, which one's real? You have no fucking idea, right? Now maybe, yeah, like I don't know how you derive value from that. I really don't. Can you explain why you always attack people who have a different opinion than you? Everyone else is always stupid. Because it's fun. It's really, truly fun. It's fun for a masculine energy. Men make fun of each other as a hobby and for fun. And it's what we do with our friends. My friends make fun of me, I make fun of them, and we grow stronger together because of that. Women don't operate the same way, or the female energy. Some men have the female energy. The female energy grows through praise. So, if you insult your girl, they're more sensitive. You can get some crying, right? So like, if you come in with a hot joke, your girl gonna cry, right? So, hey, that outfit looks like a garbage bag. That's it, right? It's not, you got it, right? So I'm masculine and my audience is all dudes. And so I treat you guys like my friends. Now, so like my enemies are, I treat them friendly too. Like I respect, even if you're the dumbest motherfucker alive, I still respect you. And, I'm very serious about myself. I'm fat, I'm old, but I am smart and I'm funny. So I know what I am, right? And when people call me out on it, I'm cool with it. And I just kind of treat the world the same way that I like to be treated, right? I don't like the fake bullshit so much, right? I like real. If I can have it, if it's on offer. So for me, it's fun. It's entertaining. People don't want to, like, you can move less. You can talk quieter. You can have a little sleepy. Hey guys, how's it going out there? Nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants Sleepyville, sleepy time. People want interesting, exciting. So, I mean, fuck guys, what are we talking about here? We're talking about computer science, right? This shit is not supposed to be interesting. So if I can make it interesting and have you engaged on something that's a better use of your time than watching something else, that's better for everybody, right? So I fully support, roasting people and and fucking with people and having some, interesting controversy and such, as long as it makes the audience better, smarter people. I know what I am, and I know what other people are, and I don't really see the value in pretending so much. You, the OG. Richard Hart fans won't remember IOTA. Yeah. So this is an example, right? I have talked a lot less shit over the last couple of years about altcoins, even though the easiest targets in the world, because me gathering up enemies is not that useful. If I were not already popular, then clout chasing and starting drama just to start it, to go from 0 to nothing, would make sense, right? I am already popular, right? If you had to elect a champion to defend Bitcoin, it's going to be me or Pomp or Lop or who, right? There ain't many human beings that this ecosystem would choose to even go out into public and represent their interests. They're very important financial interests, right? We need somebody to defend Bitcoin. Okay. I'm qualified to do that. I'm qualified to sell it. And I don't know anyone that does a better job. Maybe Andreas is less controversial, but some people like controversy, right? So you're going to miss, I'd rather he stay clean and do a good job representing, crypto nice guy, and I'll do a good job representing crypto real. So I've talked a lot less crap about projects like IOTA, not because they're not hot garbage, they are, but because gathering up extra enemies from their ecosystem that may have bought HEX but now wouldn't just because they don't like me, because I talk shit about their other terrible investment, it's unwise, right? So if I went through all the other potential purchasers of what I believe is an amazing coin, there's no reason to really alienate those guys. I mean, what can I do for them anyway? Like, you're already down 95%. What good am I doing you? I mean, it's like, you should have listened then. It's not as important now that you've already eaten the whole death, basically. Like, I'm trying to do a service to people that believe in HEX, because it is an amazing project, and it really does things in crypto that are amazingly important that no one's ever done before. This stuff goes up because people hold it. And right now, there's an externality of electric companies and miners dumping on your head all the time. And in HEX, we don't need that. We don't need miners dumping on our head all the time. We don't need the externality of paying an electric company ransom all the time. And you get rewarded for holding instead of being rewarded for being a miner. In Bitcoin, every new coin goes to a miner, not you. Oh, you hold? Fuck yourself. We're giving other coins to some other guy that's not you. That's who we're giving the coins to, that guy. Maybe he'll let your transactions in. Maybe he won't, right? Well, no. Like, fuck that guy. Like, he should have bought coins like I did instead of buying mining hardware and giving the money to the electric company and to some megacorp in some foreign land. So the fact that I could build something that pays holders instead of miners is awesome. And the fact that they get paid more for holding longer is awesome, because that's what this game is about. It's the people that move the price up are the people that buy and hold. And the longer you do that, the better. And the larger you do that, the better. Those are the things that move the price up. Those are the people that move the price up. Everybody else moves the price down. Oh, you're mining? Are you using electricity? You paying your electric bill? You selling coins to pay that electric bill? All right, you're fucking the price. That's what you're doing, right? So, but if people didn't mind, we wouldn't have transactions. Yeah, I know. It's necessary evil. But if someone else has already eaten the necessary evil, no reason for other people to eat it extra, right? So we got capacity on networks that are secure now. Let's use it up. Let's use that capacity and not, do more stupid externalities that harm price. Unless, you guys would, do you like being down 85%? If we didn't have to pay miners so much, maybe we wouldn't be down 85%. A lot of electric bills they got to pay. Mining hash rate is at all-time highs. Price isn't. That's not good for price. All right, what do we got here? Somebody asked, buy more BTC or some other coin. I just told you how to buy the dip, bro. I even gave you a number. Go 1x long, 8,500. By the way, disclaimer, if you get wrecked, your responsibility. If you fuck your trade up, your responsibility. You lose money, your responsibility. I'm not a registered financial advisor. I'm not legally qualified to give you financial advice. So if you want somebody that is qualified in that way, go look them up in your local jurisdiction and get somebody that's authorized and all that shit. Don't lose your life savings over things I tell you. So far, I think my track rate's pretty awesome. So companies trying to integrate blockchain into supply chain are stupid. Yes, unless someone is trying to censor your supply chain tracking that you already have. If no one is trying to censor your supply chain tracking that you already have, then we already have databases that require multiple parties to sign. We already have databases that have logs. We've had them for 70 years. What more do you need? You don't need anything more. You just need to use the software you already got better. You don't need blockchain. Blockchain's not good for that. It's like Chainlink. Chainlink lets you choose, like, hey guys, crypto might be useful if we could reference stuff that's not on chain. So here's a framework to like choose some things that aren't on chain as oracles. Okay, cool. And the oracles lie. And then your shit breaks. And then what? And then what? You guys realize that even honest companies, without trying to fuck you at all, actually fuck you anyway. They produce bad price feeds. A year or two ago, New York Stock Exchange just shit out bad prices to their price feed. So even if you had the best oracle in the world, you're going to have to roll back the chain. Oh, well, who's allowed to roll back the chain? Oh, the single point of failure. Oh, well, if you trust the single point of failure to not fucking roll back the chain when he shouldn't, then you should trust him to just run the whole thing in Oracle or Postgres or SQL and be done with it and not have the blockchain silly bullshit, right? So like if your crypto project touches the real world, you should not use a blockchain because your failure mode is where the real world gets sampled and turned into digital falsely on purpose or by accident, and then your project's fucked. And then you got to roll back the chain, and then you can't because it's a blockchain. Or you can, and then you shouldn't be a blockchain. It's really that simple. All right. I can't believe I've talked about so many shitcoins. I'm still falling for it, guys. I'm still talking about shitcoins here. Do you have positive thoughts about new crypto projects? Yeah, HEX. HEX.win. Amazing. World-changing. Love it. Program to pump. Stake it till you make it. Should outperform Bitcoin. Designed to. Other projects, I could lie to you and tell you I got a big bag of Primecoin that I'd love to see go up, but not sure why it would. I mean, I know some guys that are working on some stuff for it. Hopefully it works out, but so far that one ain't worked out too good. I thought somebody was going to do a thing because I said they were going to do a thing, and then they didn't do the thing. This is the downside of trying to trust people who aren't yourself. Sometimes if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. When can I claim HEX? I don't know, man. Like, we have one price change to make, and then we're basically past all audits. We got this share price thing that we need to change a little bit. And then we basically go to audit, and then I did the calcs earlier. It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 7 weeks. So as soon as that change is made, I think we could have a claim date 7 weeks from it. So it's soon. It's very soon. Because like even if the UI isn't done, we can still launch. It should be done by then. But even if it's not done, there's ways that you can interact with the contract without having it be pretty that could still work. But it should be done for that anyway. I think UI guy will be done before auditor guy. BTC holding 9.6. Yeah, but why? Why not go 40? Why not go down and close that gap? Why not go the extra 1K? Why not? We got another Facebook thing going down tomorrow. We went up 5x with no dips. Why not? Right? I don't see any reason why not. We've done it 8 times before. Let's do it now. 98 minutes go for a record. Somebody says 98 minutes go for a record. I did an 8-hour stream once straight, so I don't feel like doing that now. I could, but I could. You guys' questions would have to be better. Lightning Network will work, in all caps. Maybe. Here's the problem with Lightning Network. One, it works on all networks, so it doesn't give you competitive advantage for Bitcoin. Two, if it's true that the velocity of money reduces the value of money, then it will actually hurt the Bitcoin price. If, however, its existence brings on enough adoption to cancel out the velocity increase, then it would still be net positive. It's still betaware. It ain't ready for prime time. In theory, yeah, it should work. Not sure what it'll do for the price. Hope it works, but we'll see. Hasn't done shit for the price thus far. Libra will save us. Yeah, there's a very good chance Libra never launches. A very good chance. When they make statements like, yeah, we're going to wait to be totally approved, you're not going to be totally approved. Everybody hates you. Everybody in the room of senators hates you. I don't think anyone in any other room of government likes you. You guys are assholes. So if you're waiting for like an SEC no enforcement letter, I don't think you'll get one. And I don't know that FinCEN's going to write you a nice letter. So if you're waiting for nice letters from SEC or FinCEN, probably not going to get any nice letters, bro. So either you're lying and you will launch without nice letters, or you'll just never launch. Comment on BitTorrent, please. You download stuff with it. Seems nice. You do not need a token. Somebody just did a test. They tested it with a token, without the token. Work the same. You're like, I don't know anyone that's having a problem using BitTorrent. It's been around for a long time. You have a problem finding stuff in BitTorrent, and adding a token to it doesn't address that issue that I'm aware of. I mean, in theory, you can do a lot of shit, but in theory, we could just build a base on Mars and just all move there, right? Like, theory is theory. I'm reading chat here, guys. Why is HEX so good beside you being the founder? Well, we don't pay miners, we pay holders. So if you're a holder, not a miner, that makes you very happy. We're less likely to have inflation bugs. Bitcoin's had one that really happened and had to roll back the chain. One that was narrowly avoided by a Bitcoin Cash developer and notified responsibly the Bitcoin team. That's never happened and is very unlikely to happen in HEX because the code can't be changed. So every time you change the Bitcoin code, there's a chance that you fucked up the consensus mechanism and that you've introduced a print as many coins as you want bug, because all the code is in one big block and it's not modular. In our system, the code that controls economics is set in stone and it cannot be changed. So it's very unlikely to get an inflation bug in our system, whereas it is likely to get it in the Bitcoin system. Other currencies have had inflation bugs, all Bytecoin-based ones, which I think includes Monero, but they patched it before it was a problem. And Zcash also had invisible inflation bugs that they found before anyone used them. So this problem of people being able to print a ton of coins out of thin air that they didn't deserve is very real. And many cryptocurrencies have run into this problem. And it's a very strong strategic advantage that HEX is very unlikely to have that problem because its design model is different, and improvements in the network and the processing technology, which would be ETH in this case, do not affect the consensus code, which is in the core contract. And if we executed that same consensus code, which is Solidity code, on other networks that support Solidity, of which there are many, our consensus is untouched and unfazed by those other problems. Now, I imagine in theory you could design some edge case where someone like Target tried to screw the contract or something, but you'd be stretching, I think, to make that argument. What else is good about it? We're getting in early, and people that get in early make all the money. So I bought Bitcoin at 30 and mined it for free, a lot, 50 coin blocks. You probably didn't have that opportunity. So if you don't like the fact that someone that got in earlier is forever richer than you forever, which is what Bitcoin is, then if you want to like move up ranks over the other Bitcoin guys, you need to outperform Bitcoin's ROI, because otherwise they'll just always have more money than you. And a new currency that appreciates faster than Bitcoin gives you that opportunity. If I have more money than you now, and I have more Bitcoin than you now, and your highest ROI thing that you can purchase is Bitcoin, you will never have more money than me ever. You have to find some way to outperform the coin, to go up in BTC terms, to kind of move up the food chain. What else does it do? Lower inflation rate. It took Bitcoin 10 years to get down to 4.17% interest, which is what it was at when it went to 20K. I think it's like 4.14 now. You can go on OnChainFX and look up the inflation rate of currencies. They don't list most of them, but they do list some, and Bitcoin's one of them. And you can see the actual inflation rate in real time. You know, people talk about Bitcoin being a deflationary currency. It's fucking not. It's had higher inflation than the US dollar almost every year of its existence. So starting off in HEX, the first year, we have a lot of bonuses to get people on board, right? You get in earlier, you get more. You stake longer, you get more. You stake bigger, you get more. The staking sticks around forever, but all the other bonuses, like getting in early, it's called a speed bonus. You know, that only exists the first year. Referring people only exists the first year. You know, all the amazing game theory that makes it programmed to pump, most of that ends, nearly all of it ends after the first year. So Bitcoin doesn't have any awesome thing going on in the next year where you get exponential advantage over people that get in after you. What else? Unit bias is fixed. You want to sell something Bitcoin, you're going to sell it for 0.00001 of something, and then you give the guy change of 0.0, like what? Nobody wants to deal with that decimal crap. So we fixed that by having billions of units. The supply should probably be around 500 billion. It's by design. What else did we do? Transactions are cheaper. It plugs into other things easier. So in Bitcoin, if you want to use Bitcoin on a distributed exchange, you can't, because the distributed exchanges talk, ERC20, they talk Ethereum. There's no good distributed exchange for Bitcoin, because it's just, if you want a distributed exchange, you can't talk cash, because cash isn't digital, right? So you have to talk crypto. Now, how many cryptos talk ERC20 Ethereum? Hundreds. Now, how many cryptos talk Bitcoin speak? One. Bitcoin does. So the only coin that you can trade on the Bitcoin network is Bitcoin. But on the Ethereum network, you can trade DAI versus BNB versus HEX versus a lot of different things. And since it's in the same ecosystem, they can all communicate with each other. You can have trustless atomic swaps with no counterparty risk in that ecosystem, which is why we chose to be an ERC20 token, the HEX project. You can't do that in Bitcoin. You ain't doing trustless atomic swaps for shit. You can trustless atomic swap for fucking nothing in Bitcoin. But in Ethereum, you can trustlessly atomic swap ERC20s all day long. What else? There's a shitload of good reasons, like a lot. The UI looks better. So when our wallet's complete, it will look quite modern. It's pretty, right? If you look at the Bitcoin wallet and all the forks of Bitcoin, they all use the same GUI, which is a program called Qt, and it just looks like shit, right? So, and in this system, you can build your own wallet. Once you've seen how our wallet is designed, you can skin it and change it and make it your own. Good luck doing that with the Bitcoin wallet. Like, forget about it, right? I should be better at answering this question. I haven't talked about HEX publicly for a while because I've been focused on building it instead of talking about it. It's a long ass list of really great things that are in it. I'm proud of it. Like, I ran out of things to add to it pretty much. Scrolling down the list here. Is HEX decentralized? Yes, because no one can change it. Not me, not anyone. There's no backdoors, there's no secret code, there's there's public functions that anyone can run, and that's it. So I can't change it if I want, neither can anyone else. I can't stop you from transacting if I want, neither can anyone else. It's It's as decentralized as a crypto can be. It's actually more decentralized than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, if you want to mine Bitcoin, you have to buy a very expensive ASIC miner from some foreign company and make that guy rich, and hope he delivers it on time, hope he didn't test it for too long when the hash rate was low and make all the money for himself, and then hope that you can make a return on investment on it. In Ethereum, you can just mine it with a video card, and everybody's got a video card. Laptops have video cards, computers have video cards, right? And so you can mine it on video cards, which means that the ecosystem of miners for Ethereum is wider and more diverse than the ecosystem of miners for Bitcoin. And that's important. So it's because the mining ecosystem of Ethereum works on video cards instead of ASICs, it actually is a more secure and more diverse mining ecosystem. And because of that, since we run on it, we get those benefits. Also, if you believe in, somebody says, I swear all Hart ever does is shill his own coin nowadays. Son, there was nothing to talk about. The price was going down and down and down. What you want me to talk about Bitcoin? Hey guys, buy Bitcoin. I'm on here telling you to buy the dip. That's what I left with. Fuck yourself. Like, I'm here selling Bitcoin more than anything else. When HEX comes out, I'll show you what the hell shilling is about. Okay? You're going to see every form of shilling imaginable when HEX comes out. It ain't out yet. I'm very lightly talking about it. Somebody asked. What am I supposed to say about Bitcoin? Nobody uses it, but you should buy it anyway because the price is going to go up a lot more. There you go. Let's do it. Like, that's a short conversation. So I'll work harder to pump your bags harder, man. They're my bags too, buddy. I'm working. Is HEX considered a security? No. So a security is when you give money to a pool with the expectation of profit from the work of others. All right? We ain't doing no work for you. Contract gets coded. That's it. You like it? Great. You don't like it? Great. No, you're entitled to nothing. Absolutely nothing. If the price goes up because it was designed well, sweet. That's how we built it. This is like buying a fancy painting. You buy a Rembrandt, price goes up, good for you. Did Mr. Rembrandt have to come and like shill on television to move the Rembrandt price? No, right? So in order to be a security, you got to tick all the boxes. I've spoken to legal counsel about this, and they've informed me that it is not a security. So I don't know what else I can tell you. Like, even if you want to be a security and get registered as one, you can't just want to be one. You actually have to match the form that allows you to be one. So you would have to make people promises of your work with the expectation of profit and accept money from them into a common pool. Then you'd be a security. If you didn't do all those things, you can't be. And if you don't deal with Americans, American law doesn't apply to you. So that's that. So I'm very careful and very, 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 very adamant about making you no promises of any effort or work whatsoever, because that's, one extra I am not a security check, right? Didn't you used to trash Ethereum in the past? Yes. If you changed your mind on Ethereum, why won't you change your mind about any other shitcoin? I never changed my mind about Ethereum. Everything that I said about it is still true. It is used mostly to create scams. It is less secure for people to use than Bitcoin because they give them more rope to hang themselves with. So if you do anything interesting in it, you can lose all your money. So you have to actually get an audit and make sure you didn't do anything that will lose you all your money. So what else did I say about it? It had less users and wallet downloads of Bitcoin. Still true. It has less Reddit users. Still true. The price is going up less than Bitcoin. Yep, that's right. And I made a big Medium article about everything that I don't like about Ethereum and why Bitcoin's better, and I leave it up because I've never changed my mind on it. Everything that I believed about it then is still the case, and everything I believe about now is still the case. The only thing I discovered that would be different was the inflation bug thing. Ethereum has never had one. Well, that's good. The audit infrastructure for new projects. Bitcoin doesn't have new projects that run on it. Just like there's only one game in town, right? Like, if you want to do a new project, you got to do it on ETH pretty much, or some other version of ETH. Yeah, I've never changed my opinion on that. Feel free to go to my Richard Hart Medium and look up my article on what sucks about Ethereum and why Bitcoin's better. You can read all about it. The only thing I can think of that changed is the inflation bug thing. They do have way more devs working on cool stuff. So you're in the lottery that they fix scalability. You're in the lottery that they fix, sharding. They do have their own version of Lightning called Raiden. They've got state channels, which is the same stuff. They've got a lot of really cool stuff going on there. I'm not here to pump Ethereum's bags. I don't own any, right? I own like a couple bucks to send transactions. That's it. So I'm not here to pump Ethereum's bags. I do own Bitcoin. I would like Bitcoin's price to go up. 8,500, moon. I like it. Due to the restricted volume of BTC, can it be a store of value? Can HEX? Yeah, because liquidity has nothing to do. Liquidity that matters is US dollar liquidity. How many coins are available doesn't matter. They're extremely divisible. You can get 100 million units of divisibility, Satoshis, out of a single Bitcoin. So do you need is there 100 million people that need a Satoshi to do something? Well, fine. They can be served with a single Bitcoin, right? And in HEX, we have the same number of units. Past the decimal, we have 100 million units, hearts we call them, in a single HEX, just like Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis in a single Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million in theory, assuming the miners allow that to be still the case, which I hope they do. And then in HEX, we just, instead of having 21 million max, our supply after the first year should be 550 billion. So we've got that many more units. I think I did the math, and you could sell every grain of sand up to about, I think there's 14 times more units in HEX than there are grains of sand on the planet Earth. So you still have like 14 HEX of pricing selection for each grain of sand that you wanted to sell. So, you could sell a grain of sand for 10 HEX and 10 hearts, and someone else could sell it for 8 hearts, and someone else could sell it for 14 hearts. And you'd still be able to accurately price every grain of sand on the planet using the number of decimals that's in HEX. So I'm very comfortable with the amount of liquidity in units available. It's the US dollar liquidity that matters. It's not how many coins exist. For the most part. I mean, you do run into that unit bias that Bitcoin has, where nobody wants to deal with fractions because fractions suck, right? Nobody wants 0.000187 for something. Didn't this guy vote Bernie Sanders, not a libertarian? Go watch my videos on my political positions, or read my politics book, which is available on t.me/scivive, like Survive Through Science, Scivive. And book 2 called Fix the World has a lot of political positions in it. Or my early YouTube video, like Treat Your Politics Like Your Sandwich, or The Lesser of Two Evils Suck. They'll explain to you the vast majority of my political opinions. You don't know shit about my positions, apparently. But you should, because they're quite good. Nice haircut, bro. Thank you, sir. You running a video card? I used to mine. I mean, I even mined when, like, somebody forked Zcash, and I mined the fork of that for giggles, and I mined Zcash when it came out. Shitcoin that it is. Just because I'm used to mining stuff, but it's just a waste of my time. Shouldn't have wasted time doing it. What else? I was going to mine this other Mimblewimble coin that came out, and then they had a critical vulnerability, and I was like, no, I'm just not going to fuck with that. Then they patched it and whatever, but what else? I guess that's all the mining I've done recently. I mean, time is kind of blurred. So what's recent? Like 6 months ago, maybe. Why do you want to, like, you'll lose money mining pretty much because if a fan breaks or it takes you an hour to fix something, you lost the money for that month's like mining. It's just a waste of time. Margin longing is better. Opinion on hyper Bitcoinization. We can't even get people to Google this shit, bro. So you ain't getting hyper Bitcoin and nothing. Nobody uses it. Nobody's accepting it. Nobody's downloading the wallets even. I'm glad some giant motherfuckers pumped the price, but it weren't retail. So you ain't getting hyper. By the way, how are you going to do hyper Bitcoinization when you can only support, what, 500,000, 700,000 transactions a day total? You know how many transactions a single human makes in a day? More than one. So do you want to support only 700,000 people? Get the fuck out of here. Stupid. We can't scale. So that shit ain't happening. You can get it through level 2, level 3, other layers. But is that hyper Bitcoinization? Is people signing up for exchanges hyper Bitcoinization? It's hyper exchangeization. It's a stupid idea. There is a theory of runaway effect in currencies where the one with the most liquidity tends to win out. I'm happy with the price going up, bro. If people don't want to use the stuff and the price keeps going up, cool. That's enough for me. I mean, in theory, if velocity makes value go down, fine, whatever. How much velocity is there in Berkshire Hathaway stock? Price keeps going up, cool. Works for me. Could HEX be considered a DAO? I don't think so. There's no decisions being made. There's no voting. It's code. So here's the best way to visualize HEX. There is no HEX. There's code. You can run that code or you can not run it. The choice is yours. If you run the code, you are the one running the code. You're running the code that you choose on a network that you choose, paying miners a fee to run your code for you. That's all HEX is, right? So is there some like organization that controls it? Nope. Is there some prices that get set? Nope. Is there somebody that can decide to let you transact or not? Not really. I mean, I guess the miners could fuck you around if they want to, but they have no history of ever doing that before. So if you want to run this code that you can see and is audited, right? You see the bytecode on the EVM, and then you see the code that we publish, and then that code gets hashed, and you see the hash of the bytecode EVM equals the hash of the text that you can read when you compile it, and then you're like, yeah, it's that text got turned into bytecode, runs on the blockchain, and that's what I'm running when I access this contract. That is not a security. It's not a DAO. It's code that you can run or not run. It ain't got nothing to do with other people, period. So it's, I think it's pretty neat. You know, it's trustless. No one's in there fooling with it and screwing it up and messing with it. And, you know, it just keeps doing what it's supposed to do. It's good, right? It's totally in your control. You can run it or you can not run it. You can run it on a different network. You can run it on the test net. You can, you know, it's just code. Does the HEX necklace have diamonds in it? Nah, this is just silver. Sure is shiny though. My other silver's got more of like a patina, like a darkness to it. I like this necklace a little bit better still. I like this one more when it's the actual HEX logo. They're cool hexagons, yeah. It's similar, but the real hexagon logo's got 3, you know, hexes. So it's close. I was happy to find it when I saw it. The real HEX stuff will be great. Somebody already made a HEX t-shirt. They made a stencil. They made a stencil with, I believe, a piece of aluminum and a saw. You can go on the HEX Twitter, twitter.com/HEX crypto and actually see the guy make it. So he made an aluminum stencil cut out all the shapes. So you had the HEX logo, put it over a shirt, spray painted the shirt. Looks awesome. Like, I don't have a HEX shirt. I'd like a HEX shirt. I mean, looks fucking good. Like, I probably should make some. Like, it looks that good. Put a lot of effort into that logo. You guys may not realize this, but people new to crypto, they care what the name is and they care what the logo looks like. And they might not care that much about the rest. Because they're just wet behind the ears and they just got on the scene and they're like, what's going to go up? That looks good. It's hilarious. I've owned a marketing company with 150 employees, and we did print and radio and web and, a lot of stuff. And I prefer things that look awesome. So just from an aesthetic perspective, I'm very proud of the logo. Explain a copy of all bonuses being minted to the origin. Doesn't that speed up inflation? Yep. Yes, it does. And so does paying everyone else bonuses in the first place. And so does making the project in the first place. You go from no coins to lots of coins. So that's the magic. You go from no coins to lots of coins, and then you stop making coins and let it appreciate at 3.69% inflation that only gets paid to stakers and only gets paid at the end of their stake. And because people get paid more to stake longer, the stakes can be quite long. You can go up to 50 years on a stake, right? So it's a very good design. Other currencies, they murder you with inflation forever. And then the price chart is hurt forever, right? So if you look at Zcash's price chart that has massive inflation, it's been annihilated for years. Just no bounces, just death forever. So if you want death forever, then have a high inflation rate for a long time. If you want to be smart, you have high inflation at the beginning to align people's goals to spread the word, right? And to stay for longer and to buy more earlier. And then you get a chart that looks like a hockey stick, and then it never has to stop looking like a hockey stick because no one can dump because they're locked. It's a great idea. Like, it's fabulous. Now, if you want to argue about origin address, go into the chat, search the word origin, and we've done it for a year now. I've written an essay on it, explains why it's awesome. t.me/hex crypto. Control F, search for the word origin, look for the essay. Imagine if Bitcoin could protect itself from Bitcoin.com selling fake Bitcoin as real Bitcoin. But it can't, because there's no Bitcoin entity that holds the name to sue for it, right? Imagine there's a lot of upsides to having some large stakeholders whose bags are large enough to support buying ads. When's the last time you saw a Bitcoin ad? Multi-billion-dollar project, number one crypto, 10 years old. You see any ads for it? No? Why don't you see any Bitcoin ads? Because in order for someone to be cash positive making a Bitcoin ad, they have to own enough of a percent of the Bitcoin so that they make more than they spent on the ad. But because Bitcoin is so distributed and doesn't have whales large enough to make Bitcoin ads, no one can be cash positive making the ad. They'll make the ad, not return on their investment, and then you'll never see one again. Like the Bitcoin bull. Do you remember the Bitcoin bull? It was, and then it was not, because they didn't make any money on it, right? So your currency, if you want to have onboarding better than Bitcoins and you want to have advertisements, someone has to own a large enough percent of the currency that when they onboard it, when they spend $20 to onboard a new user, they made $25, so they could take that extra $5 and buy more marketing with it and keep rotating it and keep cycling it like a turbo, right? Turn some exhaust gas into more input gas. So there's a lot of upsides to it. You should read about them. How do you prevent people from getting multiple hex traps? Imagine you have a sheet of paper and it says, I owe 3 people money, John, Sally, Bob. John comes, I pay him, I scratch his name out. John comes back and says, pay him. I go, look, bud, I scratched your name out. So when people claim HEX, we scratch their name off. This address claimed. Okay. Then I can't claim again. You have pretty crappy jewelry for a so-called multi-millionaire. No, actually, I don't. I know a lot of millionaires. Their jewelry mostly sucks. Having jewelry as a millionaire is kind of a regional thing. You might see it in New York. You might see it with Italians. You might see it with rappers. There's a lot less to do with how much money you have and a lot more to do with where you grew up. You can fuck yourself, though. Feel free to do that. And by the way, I have my own logos made of my own, like, gold and diamonds. What more do you want? There's diamonds in the fucking chain. This white gold and diamonds everywhere. Like, what exactly do you want? Like, you want me to get a Patek Philippe watch? Would you respect that? I don't respect them. Maybe you do. I don't know, dude. Should I sell more Bitcoin to buy more jewelry? Nah. Because we're going to get like a 10x coming up, right? So do I want to have paid 10x for my jewelry? No. Very dumb. You look like the villain from The Incredibles. I think they had more than one movie. I hope I don't look like the second one. Yeah, I'd have to look into that. Someone says, this guy is probably a Bitcoin Talk high-level user. No, actually, I didn't want to ever come out and say that I owned a bunch of Bitcoin. But when Ethereum took over the market cap and future supply value, I was like, oh shit, I better come defend my investment. So I don't actually have like a high-level account of Bitcoin Talk. I never posted on that shit. I lurked, I read, but what am I going to post about? Hey guys. Like, I talked on IRC more than I did on Bitcoin Talk. Having your own ICO, is it expensive to develop your own coin? Yeah. Yeah, it is. It sucks. Whatever you thought it costs more. And however long you think it takes longer. Who would buy your HEX coin after 10 years? I don't know. Who would buy Bitcoin after 10 years? You like prices to go up? I do. Somebody said I look like the old movie Uncle Buck. Fuck you. Although John Candy was awesome. Yeah, there's gonna be lots of websites to tell you how to raise. You just raise up your own ego all the time? Dude, I'm fat and I'm old. But I'm funny and I'm rich. I know what I am. Like, it's okay. You know? Like, you don't have to think you're a bitch to... The world is not better by you having an inaccurate opinion of yourself or pretending that you do. I know what I am. Like, I know what I suck at. Not good at basketball, you know? I'm not really good at League of Legends either. Pretty good at StarCraft 2. But since I've quit gaming years ago, I'd like to keep not gaming. Why does everyone suck at trading? Because you're literally fighting against everyone else, like, who have better tools and more experience and asymmetrical information. That shit's hard, dude. You're trying to take somebody else's money. You think it would be easy? Yeah, people that talk about supply caps, people think that a supply cap somehow helps your value. It doesn't. Let me say this again. Bitcoin has high inflation and has had higher inflation than the US dollar for the entirety of its existence up until maybe the last couple months. But it didn't matter, because what matters is your ratio of inflation to new users. And if your inflation is high, but your new users is super, super high, well, then you have appreciating price, right? So it doesn't matter what your inflation rate is. It matters what your inflation rate to new users is. Now, naturally, a lower inflation rate will move down the number of new users you need to maintain price appreciation. However, so in Bitcoin, inflation mostly just goes to mining hardware manufacturers and electricity companies. And those are the people that actually get the majority of the value from the new coins. And they will always be that way because they'll continue to compete against each other and raise the difficulty rate until it always emergently is that way. And the only times it's not that way is when Bitcoin is appreciating beyond their expectations. And when the appreciation outruns their expectations, then they end up outsized profitable. In HEX, we don't have those externalities, and we don't give money to the shitty manufacturers of mining hardware, and we don't give money to the shitty electric companies because we do not need to, because someone else is already doing that. In our system, there basically isn't any inflation because it's only given to people that are holding. There's no externalities that have to dump on you. If your inflation is only paid to people that are holding, explain to me how that hurts the price. It's only paid to people when they end their stake. Most people aren't ending their stake. They're still staked, right? I believe over half of these coins will be staked and continue to be staked, is my guess. So in our system, the inflation, it doesn't really exist. And if it does exist, it's on a delay. It's lagged, right? And it's only paid to people that hold the currency. It's not paid to people to dump on you, right? So not only do we inflate less than Bitcoin did for the entire period of its existence up until the halvening in about a year and a half, then Bitcoin will have a lower inflation rate. But that's not what matters. What matters is the rate that you put on new users. And I think we can put on new users faster than Bitcoin does. It's not a very hard target. Bitcoin's not putting on users very quickly. I'm very happy the price is going up, but can we be fucking serious? It's not putting on new users. I'm glad that the price can go up without that. I'm going to try and put on a lot more users. That's what I'm going to try and do. So, when will claiming HEX start? See, I don't want to talk about HEX anymore. People keep asking. So what am I going to do? 7 weeks from when we change this one price thing, which could be days, could be a week. It's really, I'm waiting on the dev that's in charge of it to do it. And I can just wait and be like, hey, please do it. I still don't understand how you stop John from using different IP address or email to get multiple airdrops. Oh, well, the contract knows the total number of people that are owed coins because you had to have Bitcoin at the snapshot. And when you claim, it knows that it paid you and it scratches out your name. And then you can change whatever you want. But whatever you change doesn't matter because the only thing that matters is your valid signature from a Bitcoin address that had a balance at the snapshot. And if you use it, when it pays you, it marks your ass off and you're not getting paid again. You're not going to game the system referring yourself from 10 different accounts. You can game the system referring yourself from one account. You're not going to game the system by any means at all. The closest thing you can get to gaming the system is referring yourself. And that's it. Once. Do you ever publish and edit your sci-fi book? Well, I published a second book, but I mean, what do you call published? It's the rough work is there for you to download and read, learn from. It's not book format yet. I've been focused on HEX. HEX is more important now. Are you putting up your own fee to get HEX listed on exchanges? I don't know. I'm not sure the benefit for me answering this question because I don't want it to sound like I'm doing work. I can tell you that before the contract launches, once we go to audit, I'm going to personally call everyone and see where I can get listed. I would like the coin to be listed everywhere because it is okay if it doesn't list as many places instantly because people can still get onboarded directly through the contract by turning ETH into HEX through the transformation lobby. Every day, unclaimed coins are given to people that put ETH into a contract. And it's a copy of the unclaimed coins. The real unclaimed coins are given to the stakers at the end of the claim phase, at the end of 50 weeks. And then a copy of those are given to the transformation system. The transformation system is really neat because affiliates is going to be a large part of our onboarding process. People should get paid to tell their friends about this stuff. Or if you're a large media site, you should get paid to spread the good word. And 20% is what they get paid. Now, if we did not have a transformation system and we didn't allow people to turn ETH into HEX, then the only people that could be onboarded through affiliates are people that could claim. And the only people that could claim are people that had Bitcoin at the snapshot date. That sucks because the majority of your users are going to come as you grow exponentially. And at the end of a year of existing, you're going to have exponentially more users than you had at the beginning. And so it sucks that affiliates would only have been able to make money on the few people that had Bitcoin way back at the beginning when you had your lowest number of users, but they can't make any money on new guys that they bring on board. Well, we fixed that. Now you bring new guys on board, great. You're going to get 20% of what they send to turn ETH into HEX, right? Paid in HEX. So it gives referrers the ability to make money on all the new users during the 50 weeks claim phase that didn't have BTC at the snapshot, which is going to be the majority of human beings. The vast majority of human beings do not have Bitcoin to claim at the snapshot. And even if you convince them that they should have, they can't go back in time and do it. Being able to onboard people that just want to turn ETH into HEX is really, really good from an onboarding perspective, because you're not choke pointed by exchanges listing you or not. You're not choke pointed by not being able to onboard the majority of human beings through your referral program. You know, it's really, really good. More Florida stories? I'm not telling you any Florida stories. I don't want to talk about the past. I want to talk about the future. Past is funny. It's ha-ha. But I can just tell you jokes. I don't want to tell you jokes. I want to make you rich. Somebody says, Richard Hart, just say I'm a fraud. All right, buddy, you're a fraud. Oh, you put quotes in there. You probably want me to say it differently. Yeah, I like everyone that still shit talks me. Listen up, faggots. I got news for you. How many years I've been here now? How many years? Okay. I ever fuck anybody over yet? Huh? No? Years here? No fuck everybody over? Now what do I do for people? Free trading room. Free crypto general chat room. 2 free books. Free YouTube videos. Go on television and shill your bags. Try and give you free coins. If you don't like me, you should fuck yourself. I do a lot for you guys for free. A lot. You should appreciate it. Is that it? I'll give you guys your last round of questions here. Otherwise, I want to look at the price chart. I'm actually going to look at the price chart now. Or am I? Did I close the price chart? I'm going to open up a new price chart. Ooh, look at that price. 9,300 with the futures below the spot price. Juicy dip, come to Papa. Juicy dip, come to Papa, 8,500. Let's go. 8,500. You can do it. Thank you to Trump and Mnuchin, his sidekick. Thank you for this glorious tip. Appreciate it. I hope you guys got your bids down there. Scumbags. If you call Bitcoin for terrorists and shit and human trafficking, I gotta call you an asshole. I'm sorry. It's just that way. Like, Libra. Okay, Libra's hilarious, right? If you ask Libra about AML KYC, they say our wallet does that. If you ask them about privacy, they say our network doesn't know anything about you, and they just keep switching it. So if you ask about the network, they talk about the wallet. If you ask about the wallet, they talk about the network, because they want to dodge and shimmy and shake. They don't want to get caught in anything, right? That's why when you see the dude on television answering questions, he hates to say yes. So the guy's like, you know, is it a Monday? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you like, food? He's like, yeah, I like food. Don't you agree then that Facebook's the worst company that's ever existed? It's funny when the senators are getting the yes momentum and the dude answering the questions, David Marcus, he's like, I know I'm getting loaded up for this one. It's good to know that the only thing that can bring Republicans and Democrats together is how shitty Facebook is. Fuck Facebook. Yeah, I like everyone that says we're going to go past 8,500, right? Fuck the fact that we went from 200 to 20,000 and never dropped more than 40%. Fuck that. We got to go deeper. Why? Why do we got to go deeper? How come? What's wrong with 8,500? What's wrong with doing the thing we did 8 times before? Why do we got to do a new thing? Yeah, we could, but it's unlikely. right? So I'll play the odds. No, it's going to go farther. Yeah, you guys will buy it fucking 17K. That's fine. Do I invest in U.S. stocks? No. But you'd be smart to buy, S&P 500, Berkshire Hathaway. They're historically awesome. Somebody says audio is gone. Maybe for you, man. My audio is just fine, buddy. Thanks for making me click another window, though. I think that's it. Did we cover everything? So if you guys have questions, someone said Libra. I chatted about Libra a little bit. Do you think multi-million-dollar Bitcoin is an actual opportunity? Sure. Yep. Yeah, it's possible. Look, we're pumping on nothing. We're going up on nothing. We can go up way, way higher on nothing. We can go up to 100,000 on nothing. With no adoption, no downloads, we can go up to 100,000 on nothing. And this shit has happened before, right? Like Bernie Madoff, what was that? Lots of $1 billion a scam. Well, it got lots of billions of dollars. Like, price can keep going up, dude. Easily. Try the Carnivore Diet? Yeah, I'd like to. I love eating meat. It's my favorite, but pasta tastes good too, man. People still ask about Ripple. It sucks. It's fake crypto. What do you want it for? Remittances? They ain't using it. Like, why? It's just another shitcoin. Well, worse, but well, I don't know. The average shitcoin is pretty bad. Maybe it's not as bad as most shitcoins, but it's still shit. What's my favorite sex toy? The Womanizer W500. Your girlfriend will love it. They got a new one, which I don't have yet, but try the W500. It's awesome. Somebody asked if Lightning nodes require KYC for money transmission. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I know a lot of law stuff, but I'm not a lawyer. And I don't really... You'd have to ask somebody about this on Twitter just to fuck with them earlier. What's the difference between mining and running a Lightning node? There's digits moving around. So it's like... I hope it doesn't require KYC. It hasn't in the last 10 years. Yeah, I can't believe people are still saying I look healthy. That's amazing. Because I feel big. And my clothes think I am big. They do not want to fit. All right, so I'm going to go to my chat real quick and see if they got my real chat, my Telegram chat, not you scrubs on YouTube. Listen, YouTube scrubs. If you're not in t.me/strape, like strawberry grape, you don't matter. Join, okay? Then I'm on it all the time. I answer questions all the time. As you can tell, I'm not on YouTube often. Let's see if my chat's got anything here. I don't see anything. I might see a lot of people joining, but yeah, I hope this helps you guys. Buy the dip. If you're going to go margin long, go 1x. Price gets down to 8,500. You got one coin on there. That means it's worth 8,500. You put out 8,500 of contracts long. Your liquidation price is under 5K. Now, why don't I want you taking on more margin? Because you idiots will get loaded up on margin, and some wick will liquidate all your dumbasses, and then you'll drive the price lower. I don't want the price to go lower. So keep your liquidation price real low, and then you don't get wicked out and get wrecked when you would have been long, and then watch the market run away from you and everyone else is getting rich and you're sitting there like, I could have been a contender. You don't need a lot of margin. 1x is enough. Let me put it to you this way. If you were 1x long at 3K to 15K, you'd have 25 times your money, or 10 times, or some big ass number, right? So the collateral that you had there went up 5x in price, and then the 5 extra units of collateral that you took on went up 5x in price. So now you've got 2 5x's in price. It's either 10 or 25, do the math. It's a lot, right? In fiat terms, not Bitcoin terms, because Bitcoin went up in value too. So you're, on a 5x increase in value, use the Bitcoin calculator in top left corner, max. richardhart.win VPN if you need it. There's a link in the video. I've found some new words to ban here. A certain shitcoin has been spamming up my chat, and there's this really cool feature where I can just ban words. So this will be the last time you ever see that word in chat. It's a fork of Bitcoin made by a scammer. All right, guys. Hey, it's good to be back on. It's good to talk to you guys. The dip is finally here. Been waiting for it. Yeah, good luck. Get rich. Bull market's here. The bear market only lasted 364 days. That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. And we went up on no extra Google searches, no big news coming out. I mean, we went up before Libra came out, right? So I'm pretty happy. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Hit me on Twitter, twitter.com/RichardHartWin. richardhart.win if you want to trade, hex.win if you want to see the best coins coming out, t.me/Strape, Strape charts, Hex crypto, Richard's calls, SciVive, a lot of free stuff for you guys. Get rich, y'all. Ciao.